Hello, everyone. Let's see. Is my microphone loud and clear, friends? Let me know. Let's just wait a few more minutes. Yep, just 4 people. Let's just wait a few more minutes, friends. I call this one here a chit chat, short update. And I know it has been a while since the last live stream on this channel. So let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alo the Winter, and this is my live stream. I'm checking my microphone here. Yes, everything should be fine. We have a couple of people in the chat. This is an impromptu live stream. And as I mentioned earlier, I call this a chit chat, as you can see, a short update for the community. It has been a while since the last live stream, and I think I wanted to give you a personal update here about my view of what is going on in the community. I make this real quick. I hope you can hear me loud and clear out there. Let me just switch to the other window here. Yeah, I see Mike Luna. What's the chismis? Mike Dowdy. Hallo. Uli is in the house. Uli Steck. The Uli Steck is da auf dem Livestream. Have you ever heard people talking in Swiss German? Uli. The Uli Steck is da im Livestream of YouTube. So, what's the chismis all about? Alle the Winter facts-based chismis. By the way, the hardest type of live streams are those live streams where a host doesn't have any co-hosts or guests. And it even gets harder when you don't even have anything prepared. You just sit in front of the screen and you start talking. But there's a reason why I thought I need to come on here, because I think it is important. As you know, I did a survey a couple of weeks ago about the creation of a new Discord group. And I felt like, the numbers are not really that convincing. Around 55 to 60% of all respondents said or voted, yes, I would like to join a Discord group. And a big portion, around 35%, replied with no, it's not needed. And the rest were somehow undecided. And so I'm still not really sure if I should do it or not. But then something else came up. Let's put it this way. Someone or a group of people out there would like to create a Discord group, because I think it's important that I would not be directly associated with it. And I'm going to tell you why. That's really the reason why I came on here, because as you know, lately, people are going after a certain Canadian vlogger. People refer to him as the your regular guy. Beat me up, Scotty. And for his content, basically promoting a certain type of dating. And you all know what I am talking about. This coming Sunday, I believe Jeff Lee Brown is going to do a live stream about it. And you must have heard of Andy Omar's shorts, basically explaining what is going on in the community regarding this guy. And I recommend you to go there and check it out. I see Popeye is in the live stream. Why don't you come up here, Popeye? I feel very lonely. I feel very, how should I say, almost nervous being alone on a live stream. It's so hard. It's I know you're doing it all the time, and Frank is doing it all the time, but it's really, really tough. But then again, I also enjoy it because I get a chance to say a word or two when I am the only guy on my own live stream. Now, you guys know what's going on in the community. And again, Andy Omar is the guy who has put out a lot of content regarding Scotty. And I think you should go there and check it out. And again, this coming Sunday, Jeff Lee Brown is going to do a live stream about this topic. Now, that's part of the explanation of what I'm going to announce now. The Discord group, the reason why I would like to create or let somebody create the Discord group is because I do have information regarding Licky's whoops girlfriend. We have her real name, and we know about the escort service that he has used in the past. Also, of other girls that used that escort service who were with him, and we would like to provide you all the info, the links, and the pictures. And therefore, I think it makes sense that someone would create the Discord group. I know that you guys are very interested to find out about their background. Let me just copy the StreamYard link here so I can put it in the chat. So Popeye could come up here. Let me know if the link works. I have not been doing this for a very long time. That's one of the reasons why I always prefer to hop on somebody else's channel. Yes, thank you very much, Philippine Clips. That's the site. Philippine Clips made a couple of comments here also on my last upload about regarding Barry's sound bites. You mentioned Philippine Clips that it is old footage and stuff like that, and that's absolutely right. The stuff is old, but we don't take pride in that, because we obtained it, or I obtained it almost real time, because I think it was David Knopfler who was talking to Barry that time. And then prior to that, it was Roberto G. Dunn who was talking with Barry. But I never really felt like doing something about it because yesterday or a couple of days ago, I was deleting files on my computer, and then I saw, hey, I have not uploaded this yet. So I thought, maybe I just put it out there. And as far as the escort service site is concerned, yeah, it's MOOCI. And then you're going to find her there. We will probably publish her pictures on Discord. But there's something else here. Let's just wait until Popeye is here. Popeye is here. Let's see. Add to Popeye. Do you hear me?
Lima Charlie.
Ah, perfect. See, I started to get very scared. All alone up here on the panel.
Yeah, tell me
Now,
about
that's
that
not bad. We
bedtime
already have 20
story.
people listening right now. So, look, I emailed you about this and I wanted to know what you think about it. You know, people are going after Scotty and Andy and Jeffrey Brown are doing heavy lifting as of now, and I think it's a good thing that they are calling this creep out.
Who are
And
they going after?
Scotty, regular guy, have you heard of that guy?
Yeah, I seen that guy. He is like gives me the heebie-jeebies.
He gives you the what?
The heebie-jeebies. He just creeps me out, man. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
I
the guy is a very special case of crazy, but I think Jeff and Andy are doing a great job, and I'm not here to jump on the bandwagon because I think it's going uh, to be their thing to go after these guys. And I think I see Andy is here. Same here. That was my same description. Andy, do you want to come on the panel? Feel free to come on the panel. Wow, I didn't
so
expect
I
this.
got
You
a
enjoy
question
it.
for you, Aloe.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of a YouTube channel called You've Been Exposed,
No,
You Idiot?
no, I have not.
This guy is like he goes after everybody. He went after Philly in the Philippines. He's going after regular guy, and he puts up on community page, who do you want me to expose next? And I mean, this guy goes into detail. He reads these people's life stories. Okay, this guy is fucking brutal. I mean, Aloe, he makes me and you look like a misdemeanor. Okay, I will send you the link. Right?
Please do so.
And his next victim, you're gonna love this, is gonna be Frank.
Oh, wow. It's good that you are here on the panel because I think I would like to talk to you about a few things regarding Frank because I saw those or listened to those live streams you mentioned in your email to me this morning. And I believe he is really very, very triggered again because he always talks about the case and he can't accept that the community actually looks at him as an outsider, as an outlaw, as somebody who has completely ruined his own image, and he is actually always defending himself. You know, he can't let it go. He's extremely triggered when it comes to his daughter, it comes to his family. He mentioned that his daughter actually listens to his live streams and said that he was a good father, that he always took care of her. We have information, ladies and gentlemen, that Frankie Boy never talked about, and nobody else did, uh, regarding what they call, and please correct me if I pronounce it right, a conservatorship or something like that regarding his brother. Is it
Yeah,
is that
you pronounce that right, a conservative ship. Yeah, go on.
conservatorship? We saw some of the court documents. I'll give you the short overview here. Frankie Boy tried to screw over his brother because, as you know, is also disabled, and that's the reason why he had a falling out with his sister, because his sister started to notice that her brother, the one that who passed away, basically um, was taken advantage of financially by her brother, and so she filed a case for conservatorship or something like that. She wanted somebody installed who would take care of her brother, the one, the older brother who passed away, and we are not sure if that's her husband or if it is a family friend of hers. So this happened a couple of years ago, just before his brother passed away. So there are a lot more um, legal issues. This person that you love to bash and took apart on your live stream on last Sunday wants us to know. We found out about this, and I would like to give credit to all the private investigators of YouTube out there. You guys know who you are. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do on here because I'm actually only the platform. I do not want to take credit for any of that. I never claimed that I was the one who found out about all these things in the background. This goes out to the people who are supporting us, supporting me since years, since the days of RRR. And I really want to say thank you very much for that.
So let me
Because,
get the hold on. Let me get this
yeah,
straight. Let me get this straight. So you now have more court documents on this idiot.
yeah, there are court documents out there, and I have other court documents regarding regarding a person who I believe enabled Scotty and is basically trying to back him up. And you have heard of that couple in the Philippines YouTube community. And I believe since Philippines Clips is here and always tries to dismiss our info as old info and not hard to get, here's the challenge. And you will only hear it here on the All of the Winter show. And that's the reason why I came live. We have very, very sexy information about a woman who has become a little bit something like the female Johnny Warrior of the community, you know. Um, and
Oh, you're
everybody actually
talking
knows.
Philippine antics, right?
No, I do not. I cannot come on here and admit things like that because I
Okay.
have to be very, very careful.
Because I see,
Very,
well,
very
let me
careful.
say this. I see in the live chat about this Heidi, okay? And when I hear the Heidi, I think of the Filipina Heidi as more the one that does all the sounds and, you know, you know who I'm talking about? The Filipina that lives in France.
Heidi, no, I do not
Yeah,
know.
she lives in France. Every time she comes on my show, she calls me, "Oh, Mahal." Really nice gal. I mean, some people say bad things about her, but she's a really nice gal. But I I will say this, Salo, okay? I will keep it as covert as you are. I
Yeah,
I know the Heidi you're talking about, live
I'm talking
chat.
about Heidi in the Swiss fairy tale. You know, the Heidi and the
Yeah,
Fiddler
yeah,
in
the
the
Swiss
Alps.
fairy tale.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
And I see brutally Lauren is in the in the
Uh,
chat. Hello, Lauren. Now,
but let me ask you this before you go on, Alo, because
yeah.
like you don't take breaths or anything. Um, when might this innocuous, sexy information be released? I mean, can you give us a teaser on it?
Oh yeah, that's the reason why I'm here. That's the reason why I want to talk about it because the person who gave me that information told me you have to go signal
All right, let me
to
get my
release
Jurgen.
this.
Let me get my Jurgens first.
No, no, no. Hang on a second. Hear me out here, because he
Okay.
told me you have the go signal. Put it all out there.
Uh,
It's going to be big. And I told him, look, that's not my style. And Popeye, you know, it's not my style to put it all out there at once. I told him in the email, I'm going to escalate it step by step up to
Yeah,
the
you're a piecemeal kind of guy, you know. I call you. Well, you should change your channel to Aloe de Winter Piecemeal. Okay.
let's put it
Yeah.
this way. Somebody, though I always felt like 90%, let's put it this way in general, right? I always felt like 90% of the people in this community are either sexual deviants, criminals, failures, running from the law, all of the things I just mentioned. But 9 out of 10 in this genre, by default, have something to hide, are psychopaths or criminals, right? And it doesn't matter if they portray themselves as good people, decent people, good narrators with a nice story. That's not relevant in this case, because we get this guy in Dumaguete, for instance. Every man had lost his mind, that guy, right? And for a very long time I thought maybe he's a decent guy. I never really watched his vlogs. I saw a couple of interviews years ago with a German guy, interesting interview, and I thought, that's just not the kind of content I'm interested in. But he's just doing his thing, right? Fast forward, the guy gets involved in a fucking brawl in Dumaguete and acts all weird about it, and more and more information about him has been digged up. Again, Andy is doing the heavy lifting in this case. And I often chat with Andy, and I told him, you know what, all of these motherfuckers, even if there's a moment in time where you think they are kind of decent and just regular guys, that's just so fucking far from the truth. Always expect that if you meet the fucking foreigner in the Philippines, an expat who is on YouTube, who is from probably from a Western country, always um, assume that there's a reason why he's in the Philippines. Either he's a fucking pervert, criminal, or is probably running from the law. Because every time I listen to my gut feeling, I feel like something is off. Something doesn't feel right. And it was the same with all these other creeps. And then we started to dig. And we found out about warrants of arrests, child abuse, and so on and so forth. And I think in this case, I'm surprised by myself. Somebody came to me, a very reliable source, and this is what the person told me. This is what the person told me. There's a girl out there who is doing regular YouTube live streams, who is extremely uh, fearful of any kind of backlash. See, that's the problem with all these bigger channels, whatever that means, right? All these bigger channels, they have this omerta, almost a secret agreement among all the bigger channels. Don't talk shit about any of the other bigger channels, because we are all in this together, because we, as complete failures in life, we make money on YouTube, so we can't afford to have a real opinion. That's what this is all about, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot afford to have a real opinion, so
Kind of
we're
like
not going
today's
to call.
modern media. Kind of like today's modern media. They can't
It's
afford
a
to have a
little bit
real
like that,
opinion.
unless
Yeah.
unless you have a scapegoat, unless it turns out into a politically motivated witch hunt. But let's not get into that. The
Yeah.
reason why all these bigger vloggers out there never really say it like it is because they fear the backlash, and it's very
Mm.
obvious with certain live streamers out there who are so fucking fearful of the backlash that they just look the other way when children get abused, when somebody promotes the sexual exploitation of Filipino children and women, when somebody is obviously running from the law, has something to hide. What they do is, yeah, we don't know what is going on. There are worse people than this guy. We don't want to get involved, and so on and so forth. And why do they do that? It's not because they do not have an opinion about it. And I don't think that they are that stupid that they don't see what's going on, because it's the same type of people who backed up Bebots and others, and who said, yeah, you guys are just jealous. Andy is just jealous. Jeff is just jealous because This and that guy, they're getting all the girls, they're having a good time, you don't know how old they are, one excuse after another. And if something happens, if something goes down, if somebody gets arrested, that's when they come out of their caves or out of their basement or wherever they are. And then they say, yeah, but I always knew he was a strange guy. I never really associated with him. I had nothing to do with that person.
Oh
It's kind
yeah,
of
the denial phase.
the
I had
denial. It's
nothing.
just a little bit
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
Bebots effect. It's a
yeah.
little bit like the Bebots effect. He's like, I know Bebots is a cool guy, and you guys are just jealous, and so on and so forth. Boom, bang, fast forward, evening news, ABS, CBN, a team is there, TV crew, police is there, the place gets raided, his house gets raided. He has been caught in underwear and toys in a hotel room. It's very hard to deny that. And out of technicalities, now he's off the hook, more or less. Now, um, the people came out, people that I knew who were his, let's say, internet friends, people I knew who associated with him. Bevels is this, Bevels is that, buddy. Right? Everybody likes him. He's a funny guy with his French fry stuff and all that. And then a day or two after, I have nothing to do with him. I didn't really know him all that well. I just went on his show for like 17 times. Others went on there for like 25 times. I was just on there 17 minutes and 34 seconds. Others were on there for 3 hours and 24 minutes. And they tried to minimize their relation to that person. And right now, everything that's happening right now reminds me a little bit of that. And, it's kind of like a frog 2.0. And what do I mean by that? I also see and know and understand that the frog is a guy who is very eloquent. He's a good narrator, and people like him. People flock to his channel. People think that he is some sort of an expert, that he's a guru. And what happened then? What happened then? People found out about his dating advice, about how he hides he hides his data, his videos and pictures on his cell phones, on his electronic devices, and these electronic eggs, and so on and so forth. Everybody knows about this. Andy and I, Jeff and others did a lot of live streams about this. And then people started to see the truth. People started to feel like, okay, maybe there's more to it. Maybe there's another side to it. And right now, I just feel we're going through the same shit again. We're going through the same fucking BS again. It's this regular guy out there doing what he does, and everybody says, yeah, he's a good narrator. He goes to this and that place, and he shows us the real life, and he zooms in on these kids, and it's just by coincidence. Of course, there are kids on the streets. Yeah, well, I get it, friends, but do you need to approach them? Do you need to talk to them? Do you need to zoom in on them? Do you need to slow down your vlogs when somebody like them walks by? Because he never does that with older women, never does that with an older man. He doesn't do it with a regular guy, a regular Filipino guy, or a cashier, or a trike driver, a taxi driver, or something like that. It's always very specifically a very young girl. I asked what's the same question a couple of years ago. Why is it that you claim that you're helping people? Why is it that the only people you help are young, attractive, poor province girls? Why don't you buy some McDonald's French fries for an older male trike driver, since you just claimed that you want to help people, right? And he couldn't answer that. He couldn't answer that. And then after the live stream, he said, I don't want anything to do with Alo de Winter anymore. I don't want him to be on my show anymore. I don't want to talk to him. He has no skin in the game. Something like that. That's what he said. And he was obviously very pissed, because back then it was our guys who called him out for this. And it proved once again that we, the former RRR guys, have been always right about everything
You know what this reminds me of?
Every
All of it. Uh, Every time I see a new guy pop up that's like a frog or a or a regular guy or a B-bots, I say to myself, how long will it take before I'm disappointed and they figure out that this person is a total shitbird? How long will it take? That's what I say to myself. And a lot of these days, I don't go to the new channels because I'm tired of getting disappointed, number one. Number two, I've been getting a lot of messages. I've gotten messages. You should go after this guy, regular guy. Who in the world is anybody to tell me who to go after? They just leave a short message, go after this guy. You know, if you're going to leave messages like that, let me see you put the time and effort in, open a channel, and do what I do what Allo does. Okay? Um, and I'm not mad that you asked me to do it. I'm just a little off put that, I mean, I cannot go after, and I don't think Allo can either. I cannot go after everybody in this genre. I don't want to end up like Frank. Frank fight Frank fights with everybody. Everybody. I mean, if I was to have a list of who Frank fought with, it would be like the list of people that they read when they have the Twin Towers ceremony. We'd be here for 6 hours just listening to the names rattle off one after another. Right? I guys, I really can't do that. I mean, I produce a show once a week for you guys because frankly, the genre is fucking boring. It's boring right now. I'm waiting for something to explode. I mean, Frank is low hanging fruit to me. He really is.
But he's so
And
fun to fucking trigger, and I knew that you would trigger him, because these are the. If you want to trigger Frank, tell him that he let his family down, that he left his brother alone back in
oh
Hawaii,
Jesus
died
Christ.
alone, right? And the
and
other thing that really pisses him off is that people remember Michael Fazio, that people are talking about Michael Fazio, and he cannot let it go. He's still bashing Michael Fazio. Michael Fazio is gone. Michael Fazio is dead.
he's
And this
dead.
shows what
Jesus.
kind of a wild, sick in the head motherfucker the Bantayan Peter is, because he is the kind of guy who will bash you even you're long gone. And I think that shows what kind of a person he is.
Oh,
And
he's very
he
spiteful.
deserves
He holds
everything
a
you are doing to
grudge.
him.
I mean, he will hold a grudge till the day he dies. Okay. And I have to say, I hope he's listening because, like,
He is.
he's doing 6 shows to my one. It's a 6-to-1 ratio. Uh, when it's a 6-to-1 ratio, you know, and everybody
Trigger alarm.
who's playing defense and who's playing offense.
That's the
Okay.
very definition. That's the very definition, Bob, of trigger alarm. He
Yeah.
wants, he always gets back to his old fucking defense of it's a civil case. The tenants were bad people. I didn't touch that boy. I am a good father. I raised my kids on my own. Yeah. If you are such a good dad, why is it that you have no communication with her? Why is it that you don't know when your brother passed away? Why is it that you need to reach out to your daughter via email to tell her to reach out to your sister to get in touch with you? And then he finds out that his brother has already been buried. I mean, that is not a person who has a life. He is triggered. He's all the time. He's triggered, and he's listening to this right now. And I think you should keep doing what you do. And people in the chat, hello everybody. By the way, people in the chat mentioned uh, this woman, this big woman. I actually have nothing against that woman, but this is what happened last year, I believe. I went on. They stopped. People came to me and they told me these people, these these live streamers, this couple, they're talking about you, Alo. And they checked out my channel, talked, and then I went on over there in the chat, and then I said hello, and they stayed very civil, and that was it. And I felt something is wrong. Something just doesn't feel right, even back then. But I just didn't know what it was. And I never really watched any of their stuff up until I saw that live stream, or rather that vlog they put out, uh, Andy Omar versus regular guy Scotty. That's when I got interested in all of this. And I went on there, and then I noticed that that couple somehow tries very hard to stay neutral. And so I wondered, why is that? Because they are usually very opinionated about everything. Why are they
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
why are they so hardcore about their staying neutral in something, like when it comes to something like this? And I didn't know why. And then I felt like maybe they're very desperate. Uh, they are financially not in a very good situation. People told me, well, they are not poor or something like that, but they obviously need the income, the YouTube income. I mean, that's very obvious based on the way how they dress, the kind of food they eat, their living conditions, the place that they live in. uh, I felt like maybe that's the reason why they can't afford to say it like it is when it comes to regular guy. And then people reminded me of the fact that that woman probably last year threatened the Filipina girlfriend of a very big blogger in the Angeles City area. And I know, not personally, of course, but I knew who they were talking about. And I felt like, okay, that woman is a small, petite, little Filipina, very harmless. She has her own show. And so I wonder, what the fuck happened? Why would you threaten somebody like that? I mean, I understand when people threaten Gilda, for instance. I mean, she would deserve it. But why did this big woman threaten that little woman? And I felt like something is off here. And then I put out the video where and CTTO to the guy who sent me that stuff. Um, I give him credit for that, of course. I put that out, and then people started to comment that. I believe even you, Popeye, you commented on that blog, and you said something like, um, sometimes it's better to just stay single, something like that. Or some people just fuck everything,
Yeah.
really
No,
comments, really
I said
comments.
some people will fuck anything.
Exactly. And so I felt like, wow, I maybe I hit a nerve here, and I still felt like, maybe they are not really well liked in the community. I do not know. And then I received an email, a very interesting email. And it was almost like a JW moment where we started to find out who is this person and what is their background. And I tell you, wow, when I read that stuff. So here is the real reason why I'm doing this show today. And I know that some of you will let them know, that couple, that I do have that information. I don't like
Hmm.
you guys. This is a direct message to them. I don't like you. I don't know why I don't like you. I don't need a reason like other vloggers why I don't like you. Maybe it's the way you look. Maybe it's the way you talk. And now I have a reason to, let's say, expose you, for the lack of
I
a
think
better
you
term.
should have done it with a lot more flair. I mean, now you have a reason to join the party.
I don't want to join the bandwagon regarding Scotty because I think Andy and Jeff are doing an excellent job, and
Yeah,
I think
and
that's
this is
me
where
out
I
to do that. But
this
where I wanna make a difference, or where I wanna come in, is I wanna make sure that the community knows about them and who they really are. And I think that if somebody out there listens to this, who also listens to their channel, let them know, because this is where I started to feel a bit strange about the woman, because she said if Ala the Winter, she was referring to me. She said that, okay, Ala the Winter is one of these dark trolls, these bad trolls. You don't want them to, somebody told her that. And she said, okay, we are not afraid. We are not afraid. And then she said, I grew up in one of the rough neighborhoods in Miami, right? I know how to defend myself. And then I heard that and I felt like I never talked about you guys. I never said anything negative about you guys. You're completely fucking irrelevant. We don't, you're just a no topic, not a topic in our circles. Definitely not in the RRR, with the RRR guys. People came to me and often talked about them and said you should look into this and stuff like that, but I just really never really felt interested in this, because there's just nothing there. It's not sexy enough. But I always felt like, why do you talk like that? Where does this grandstanding come from? Why do you talk about getting physical? I never talked about you. I never really said anything. I come in peace. And why you give me this kind of treatment, right? But at the end of the day, you have to understand, I expect people to treat me with some respect, because at the end of the day, you and I, we are YouTube royalty. Okay, I am arrogant. Why? Because I am RRR royalty, and people should show us some respect, show us some courtesy, right? That's how you say it. Courtesy. You have to be nice. You don't talk about getting physical. And with that background info that I got, that she already threatened somebody in the past, you don't have the license to threaten anyone in this community. We are the only guys who have to threaten people on YouTube license. You don't get that right. You don't have that right. And then here we are, or here I am, and I'm talking nice to them, and they come in with that all this grandstanding and shit like that, and I felt like, why is that? Why are you so hostile? I never said anything bad about you guys. Why are you so hostile? And then I found out, or somebody found out, about the dark past of that big woman. The
Mm.
woman being a bad girl in her past.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how sexy is it?
We got mugshots. Number one, we're talking about robbery. Number two, we're
You just
talking
hit
about
a
jail time.
8.5. Yeah.
Okay, now I put it out there. Robbery, jail time, different names, mugshots, court files. And this is a
Oh.
message to the other side. You will never again come on here all high and mighty and talk down to fucking people. Because I knew from the get go something is off with you guys. And I'm going to exploit the information given to me, and I will repeat it again. And then you make sure that you let the people out there in the community know where you heard this the first time. Where did you hear the first time when we came out with the JW court info? Here. Where did you get all the information regarding the court files of any of these other miscreants here. And when I come on here, there's a real reason why I come on here. Because all the chismis out there is just that chismis. This here is facts based. So make sure that you remember that. And I repeat myself, robbery, jail time, mugshots. And that's the reason why I mentioned earlier. That's the reason why I mentioned earlier that there will be somebody, which is not true, but I just have to say that somebody will put out a link soon with or for a Discord group. And then you will be able to go there and verify by yourself. And that's the difference between us and them. What they say, and I'm talking about all these other guys, what they say, Popeye is this, Alo is that, Roberto is this, that, blah, blah, blah. It's not based on facts. It's based on their blinded hatred for us. There are no court documents out there. There are no pictures and sound bites out there. There's nothing out there. When people tell you that Popeye here beats up his wife or ex-wife, when Frank claims that Popeye is broke, then you have never been able to go somewhere and verify that by yourself, because Frank has never actually given you any of these documents because they do not exist. And that's the difference between us and them. When we come on here and we claim that somebody has been involved in a fucking robbery, that there are mugshots out there and court documents, somebody did time in jail, that's not just some hearsay. That's the real deal. That's real facts. And that's what I mean when I say chismis facts, chismis based on facts.
Let me tell you a little, Alan.
Just a few
Let
more
me
days,
tell you, let
and
me
the
tell you a
info
little.
will be out there, and you will see that this person, this couple, whatever they are not who they are. Or not, they're not good people. Let's put it this way.
Let me tell you a little story, Alan.
Yeah.
When I was in the Navy, okay, and we came back from Westpac, and Westpac we went all over the Far East, and our ship would pull back into Long Beach, California. Okay, and there were every 4 days I had to stand duty, and I would stand a watch. I would either be petty officer of the watch or officer of the deck. Okay, and a lot of times I got stuck with the 4 to 8 watch, 1600 to 2000 watch. So you stand on the brow of the ship and you check IDs and you make sure anybody who goes off the ship or comes on the ship is actually allowed. And about 1700 hours, a lot of the military wives would come up the brow. Okay. And there was this one, she used to always come up like clockwork when I was on duty. She was married to a bosun mate, and she weighed about 350 pounds. I shit you not. She had short black hair, pale white skin. Okay? And when she walked up the brow, you could actually hear the brow creak. Okay? And her husband came to the quarterdeck, and he had his duffel bag with him. He's going on leave. Well, she picked that duffel bag up like it was a twig and slung it over her left shoulder, grabbed him, squeezed him, and he disappeared into her. And then she let go of him. And I was just in horror. I was in shock. Okay. And when I saw the blog of her slapping the Filipino guy, all as I could think of was that wife, that Navy wife. We call them dependents, okay? Because dependence. And that's all I could think. It was like a carbon friggin' copy. And I saw the blog where she slapped him, and which is assault, is it not? And I was like, wow, she just took me right back to my Navy days. Okay? Now, mind you, not all military wives are of the hippopotamus variety. Okay? There are a few, and there's some good looking ones. Uh, like, you take Roberto's wife. It's a good looking woman. The
Well,
lucky man to have her, you know?
speaking of Roberto's wife, this is another fucking story that Frank is putting out there that Roberta apparently is divorced and miserable. It's complete fucking bullshit, you know. But
Oh
we
my
have come to the
God.
point where people don't believe anything anymore just because we seem to be friends or
Oh,
something.
dude,
Hello, and
I sit
following.
in a velvet chair, I drink gin, and I do 3 packs of camels a day.
It's
Okay?
just it's just ridiculous. You know, he makes this shit up. That's the problem. He makes this shit up. And the
Mhm.
audience out there should require vloggers to present them at least some documents,
Dude,
some
Sunday,
proof,
did I
some
not present
evidence.
documents? Did I not present video proof when I took them
I'm not.
apart
Yeah,
piece
you
by
are.
piece?
You are coming out with this fucking skits, sound bites, and everything, and give us the context. And you did so also on RRR, and that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he says stuff like they kicked Popeye out of the Navy, show us the documents. Popeye has beaten up his ex-wife. Show us the documents. Popeye does not own the house. Popeye is living in the basement. Your fucking house has no basement, Popeye. Even I know that. There is no fucking document out there. Nada,
That's
nothing.
sad when a Filipino knows that.
Okay, there's nothing out there, and that's where I challenge the audience. Do your fucking homework and try to figure out who is right, who tells the truth, and who is just
Huh?
making this shit up because they do not they happen to somehow resent you. They don't like what you do on the internet. I mean, I get it. Nobody wants to be exposed. Nobody wants to be dragged into the limelight of YouTube drama. I get it. But Frank, he is really not he's really not that superstar he thinks he is. He's an insignificant, lonely man who just thinks he is happy, who just tries to pretend he is happy because he is really not. Else he would not do what he is doing on the fucking internet. And he always gets fucking triggered about everything you say about him. And then he turns it around and says, Popeye is just going to the bingo parlors. Popeye has this e-bike because he's impaired, he can't walk. Motherfucking Popeye here is fit as a sneaker. He's doing his shit all. I don't even know. He doesn't use this fucking e-bike because he can't move around. He bought that fucking e-bike because he wants to enjoy himself out there on the fucking bike trails. And I suggest to Frank, you should do the same. Walk around in Santa Fe. It's a nice place. It's not as
Huh?
bad as I said it is the last time. I was just trying to get under your skin a little bit. And I found it hilarious that even this statement, he started to rebuttal it. He was walking up and down on the beach somewhere in Bantayan and said, Allah would like this place here because look at this. There's a disco here. There's great food here. That really shows me that everything we say about him, directly and indirectly, is something that really bothers him. He cannot let it go. And YouTube drama is really very, very toxic if you um, if you're really that weak that you can't let shit go, that you take things personal all the time, and you feel like you have to rebuttal everything, then you are fucking lost. And now I understand why you can't let go of this. When he dismisses our statements as troll accounts and troll statements, then explain to us why you, Frank, said that you really come from a dysfunctional family and you found the family that you never had here in the Philippines with Gilda and her 8 kids. I mean, that is not something that we want. It's so fucking insane. And by the way, Mike Dowdy told me that Frank is wearing World Balance sneakers. And I felt like, wow, that's how hitting rock bottom looks like when you wear and I don't know if Mike Dowdy was just fucking with me, but he told me Frank, and it's actually something that Frank would say. World Balance is just like New Balance, is just cheaper. you know, and and I know, and I know Mike Dowdy was just fucking with me. But let me tell you this: I noticed because I notice things like that when people, how they live, what kind of food they eat, and obviously also because I love sneakers. Uh, Obviously, also check out their sneakers. And so I felt like, what kind of fucking sneakers are these? Because I've never seen that, because sometimes Frank walks around, tries to impersonate me, was zooming in on his sneakers. And then I felt like, what kind of low class, cheap ass made in Papua New Guinea sneakers are these, Frank? Because you claim that you are living the high life on here, that you are Mr. Superstar, Mr. Island, right? And like what's going on here? And it's symbolic almost. Bad choices, always the cheap choice, always the bad choice. And that's why he has these World Balance sneakers. That's why he lives in the middle of nowhere. That's why he is with that woman. That's why he thinks that it's just like his World Balance sneakers, it's just cheaper than New Balance. It's kind of like I am with this woman. It's just like a family, but it's not really like a family. I am in this house, my house, but it's not really my house. I could go back to the US, but I'm not going to go back to the US because I cannot afford to stay there because else I would need to rent again. I just don't have enough money. I didn't lose the case, although I actually really lost the case, but it's not really a loss. It's somehow still kind of like a victory. And that's so symbolic, It's so symbolic of everything. The sneakers, World Balance, just like New Balance, but not really New Balance.
You know what's
Wife, but
so
not really.
you know
And,
what's
and
so
so on and
funny?
so
You're talking about sneakers here, right? It reminds me of when I was a kid. I come from a family of seven. Okay, come from a family of seven, and like my mother would go shopping every Thursday, and we'd run to the big paper bags to see what snacks she's got. Okay, and I was always hoping she'd buy like ding dongs or Twinkies, right? But I got Twonkies, not Twinkies. Okay. See,
not good. Is that good or not good? I
a
think it's not
Twonkie is a Twinkie knockoff. Okay.
uh,
And
Twinkie knockoff.
yeah,
Isn't it that these Twinkies are, Roberto used to bash me for that because I didn't know what Twinkies are. But isn't this some pastry, some American pastry?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's a all-time American favorite, a Twinkie. Okay. And
Hmm.
my mother would buy Twonkies. Okay. And dude, they tasted fucking terrible. Okay. And
Old kids in the fucking neighborhood throwing stones at your house,
yeah,
saying this
and
is where the
dude,
guy with the
and dude,
Twonkies
I'd open my bag lunch at school and pull out the Twonkie, and there's always some smart ass kid like Allo. Oh, got Twonkies again, right? Huh? Oh, okay. Yeah, and they'd snicker. But hey,
is.
that's why Allo calls me a spoiled prick, because there's times he calls me up and he says, Popeye, what are you doing? And I say, I'm having Oreo cookies with a glass of milk.
Yeah, I did not say you are a spoiled brat or prick or something like that. I said during the RRR days, just make sure, Popeye, that you never mention this on any live stream that you're eating Oreos with a glass of milk because it's going to destroy our bad reputation
Reputation. Yeah.
in the community. I remember that conversation.
It
We
was
had that
fucking funny,
conversation.
man. It was fucking
We had
funny. It was funny as shit, right? I just laughing my
uh,
ass off, right? And dude, and and I always prayed my mother would buy Oreos when I was a kid. This was back in the '60s. But again, disappointment. I'd reach in the bag and you'd see this generic package that said chocolate sandwich creams.
mhm,
And my mother would say, "Oh, it tastes just like Oreos." But then when I grew up, I understood what my mother was doing. She was saving money.
yeah.
She's putting money away so we'd have new clothes for the new
Mhm,
school year. We'd
mhm,
have Christmas gifts.
yeah.
Okay. And that's the way it was. Okay. And see, that's what my parents taught me: hard work, perseverance. You shouldn't be on the dole. My parents called it the dole. And in my day, if you were on the dole, you kept that on the QT. You kept that on the lowdown. Okay. You didn't want nobody to know you were on the dole because that was the most embarrassing thing that could ever happen to you. Right. Now, you look on YouTube and these disability shitbirds like the Bamas, the Franks, uh, the rest of them, they're all going to Philippines on the government dole. Okay? They're not eating Twonkies. They're not eating sandwich creams. They're eating Twinkies. They're eating ding dongs. Okay? Uh, but Frank, he's kind of got that boomer attitude where, well, I'll get the New World sneakers and everybody will think it's cool. He kind of reminds
Now,
me of
hang
that.
on a second. Regarding the sneakers, the new world sneakers, it's actually world balance, and these shoes
Oh,
are
World
absolutely
Balance
not
sneakers,
cool.
excuse me. Yeah.
Not these
And I'll
shoes are
be
not
cool,
cool. To compare it
And
to
I give you
New
a dime to
Balance.
dollar, the motherfucker still buys Brill cream. Okay?
You know, the difference between you and these guys or that guy is that you achieved this on your own. You worked for it. You did something for it.
Yeah.
Frank is just lucky that he is a U.S. citizen. That in the U.S. there are social security systems in place that don't leave people like him behind. If Frank would have been born the same way with his abilities, skills, IQ, in a country such as the Philippines and comes from exactly the same type of background because his parents were basically punks. Okay, the father was a punk. We know a little bit about him. Michael Fazio digged up information about him. He used to talk about it a lot. Parents were complete fucking punks. Um, the reason why or the difference between you and them is or this guy is that you actually worked for it and you earned it. Frank again is just lucky because he's a US citizen. It's the same situation with Barry Lee Jordan, that they, because they're US citizen, the Western system or the American system takes care of people like them. Otherwise, they would live under a bridge. Well, Barry lived under a bridge or a garage. And Frank,
They'd be living in Tondo. Okay?
they would be living in Tondo or they would end up as male hookers somewhere. The thing is this: Frank is exactly the same type of person. He used his brother via the conservatorship, other issues that I mentioned, to milk the system. He himself never had a real job. He himself never had some formal education whatsoever. Nada, nothing. And yet he talks a big game. Never achieved something, never did something. And that's why he's so pissed when you, Popeye, talk about your time in the Philippines. He wants to make it look like, okay, Popeye lives in the past. Well, first of all, he has a past, he has something to talk about. And this is the Philippines YouTube community. Of course, he is going to talk about the past, his past in the Philippines, in Subic Bay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The thing is, during the time Mr. Bob C. here, during the time he served in the Navy, what did Frank do? Frank was the type of guy with long hair, walking, wandering around the US, trying to figure out what to do with his life. He was a complete fucking punk. Did you see his pictures in his 30s and 40s? Every now and then, he posts these pictures, probably thinking that he was some sort of a good looking guy. He is really not. And he is the guy who lives in the past. Because think about this, he is the guy who has problems with aging, always covers his fucking eye bags, talks about plastic surgery, that he could get rid of those things and that he still looks good for his age. He is the guy who's preoccupied with these topics and not anyone around here. Now, you mentioned something earlier. I just forgot it because I scrolled up here. I saw a comment here, and I want to get back on point here from Philippines Clip. And he said, and I read it out loud, the comment: Heidi and George love the drama. First time I noticed was when they had a fallout with Paul Old Dog regarding John, that expat. They really want their channel to succeed. They're in it for the YouTube dollar sign. And you know what? I get exactly the same vibe. But I felt like if you come on here, you criticize people and you pretend you are neutral for the sake of AdSense, money, internet income, because you fear that people might, talk about you, things might turn against you. Here's what I got to say to that couple. You guys talk about the drama. You guys give people a platform on your channel, and you do so because you are after the money. And I get
So
it.
basically, you're
People
telling
do
you're
that. But
you're
now,
yeah.
hold
Hold on.
on a
Basically,
second.
you're
Hang
telling
on, hang on.
me.
That's the last sentence about this. You guys talk about the drama. The Chester will make sure that people know who you are, and you will become the drama. Because I think we got something here, nice and sexy, robbery, mugshots, court documents. I'll make sure that these infos will be out there and available to each and every one of you.
So
Now,
basically, you're telling me these two are twonkies, not Twinkies. Okay.
exactly. That's exactly what I am saying.
and
And you know
and
what's going to happen
hold
now?
hold on. Mike Dowdy wants me to get this out.
Okay.
Sunday night. Sunday night is the 1 year anniversary
Ah, yeah.
of our boy Bama in detention center at 2000 hours. That's 8 p.m. for all you civilians, Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. Monday morning, Philippines time. I will be doing the 1 year anniversary show of Bama in
I really
detention
want to
center.
I really want to get on that paddle, Paul. And I
You
know
got to get up,
I
dude.
really, but the thing is, I really want to get on there, and I know I have an open invitation, but sometimes it's just so fucking hard because I thought about it. I was in my room, I was staring at the ceiling, and I tried to figure out why is it that I always miss the Popeye live streams, and I came up with this conclusion. I think it has to do with the fact that your live streams happen on Sunday evening Eastern Standard Time, right? And that's
Hmm.
evening in the US, but that's Monday morning in the Philippines. And what is a Monday morning all about? It's usually the time after a rough weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, after a weekend full of drugs and cocaine, where you're just completely wasted and you cannot get up on the fucking Monday morning. Because actually, the last time I really tried so fucking hard, I was looking at the watch. I saw, okay, it's 7:30. I still got another 10 minutes. Then I looked again. Okay, I got still another 10 minutes. Next thing I know, I looked at the watch again. It was like 11:30. It's like wow. I
All you got to remember though, I start at 8 a.m. your time. You have at least anywhere from 8 a.m. You have at least 45 to 1 hour.
Yeah, to 8:45 a.m. to
Yeah,
almost 9 a.m. because usually you do an intro with the music, you give people a short overview about everything,
yeah.
and yeah, I thought of that as well. I would like to go through the chat here. I want to say hello to Don C, Tom Kinsey, Yats Amodia, of course, Mike Dowdy, Reclusive Pantayan, Ferrier, Atlantic Swamp, Walrus, of course, Andy Omar. I hope is still in there. Stay Frosty, Gypsy, and Philippines Clips, Mark Hall, always good to see you. Chris Travels, 14, and who else is in there? I believe that's it. There are probably a couple of
I
more guys.
think
You're
your
welcome to.
wife I think your wife should get a cake, okay?
What kind
And
of cake?
just a nice little small boutique cake kind of something.
For the 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, and put a candle in the middle of it and light it and then just open your cam on the cake and we'll sing a little song for Bama. I mean, I think it would just accent the whole night. It would.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get a candle in the shape of a one. You know, the number one, because
Well,
I think
yeah.
they sell these in places such as National Bookstore. For you out there who know what National Bookstore is, that's kind of like a place where you can buy pens and books and stuff like that, all that small stuff
Yeah, it's
that
kind of
you
like
wouldn't
Books
often.
R Us here, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I might get a candle there, and then I light the candle, and then I do a famous YouTube shorts about that. I think it deserves some attention, and I think he will get that kind of attention. This is what I want to tell you about this. The 1 year anniversary is actually a complete disaster for Team Jordan. Remember when they said we are going to get him out of
2
jail?
weeks, it'll
We
be
have
out in 2 weeks.
experts. Yeah, he has been in here for a month. He can do another month. It's looking good. Money is coming in. We are going to win. And I remember, Bob, that I told you, you know what this is? If they manage, if they succeed to get Barry Lee Jordan out of that detention center, you know what's going to happen? They are going to take one victory lap after another. They will rub it in our fucking faces, and they will claim, look at us, we can make things happen. Popeye, Alo, all these other guys, complete fucking zeros. We are winners. You are losers. We were able to get Barry Lee Jordan out of the detention center. We are better than you. We are the titans of the YouTube community. We can make it happen. We are starting an expat service where we are going to help people just like Barry to get out of trouble. That's what they were talking about. We are heroes. We are it. We are the best. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. After 5, 6 months, the tone changed. Yeah, it's kind of complicated. Let's see what happens next. We will figure it out, right? Keep sending us money. Okay, what's next? Let's talk about something else. Party time in Cebu. We're going to Boracay. We're going to do this and that. And you know what happened? Now they are silent because they know even if Barry gets out by tomorrow,
It's
Friday,
it's still a
it's
loss.
always going to be a major fucking loss.
Yep.
Period. If don't come on YouTube, gents, and tell us, look, we were able to get him out because you heard the voice mails, the sound bites. This was a scam. Even Barry himself admits it now. This was a scam. So don't come here and tell us that you succeeded to get somebody out of jail because you really did not. And I said 10 months ago that Barry might, and I still stand by that, might never again see the United States. And this might be some over the top troll statement coming from the Chester. You might dismiss it. But in a year from now, we will sit here and you will say in the chat, maybe Alo was right because it's really not looking good. Maybe we underestimated the system in the Philippines. Maybe we did not know that when you get in legal trouble in the Philippines and you are poor like Barry and you have no legal representation, you don't even fucking know who your lawyer is, then things will not turn out the way you want them to. And maybe you might never see the US again. Maybe you will go home in a year or two, but then you're a broken man. Because this system, even in the detention center, will wear you down little by little. It's been a year. Now try to imagine this. What would you do within 1 year? What did you do in the last 12 months? You went out, you went to the beach, you met people, your friends, you went to the cinema, you do things, you travel to places. Barry was always in that detention center. When you sleep at night, when you get up in the morning, when you go to the gym, when you meet uh, somebody, have a chit chat for a coffee, Barry was always in that fucking detention center. Every single second in the last 11 months and almost 3 or 4 weeks. And that fucking grinds you down. And
You
that's
know,
what's happening.
this is going to be a banner year. Okay. I'll tell you why. We got the election coming up. Then
There will
after
be a new president.
and
And Barry,
then after the election, let me give you the calendar. After the election,
hang on a
we
second,
got
because
the
I get a nice comment here. There will be a new president. Doesn't matter if it's Biden again or Trump, but there will be a president. There will be a new
yeah,
president. Barry gets out of jail. Please go ahead.
so after the election, we got Thanksgiving coming up. So I think I'll do a vlog on how to make a proper turkey dinner for Barry so he can watch it and drool. And then we will have the second anniversary of Bama in detention Christmas Eve. Okay?
I
Christmas
see
Eve. Set your calendar.
you're
If
planning for the long term, and that is very
dude,
good.
I'm in for the long fucking haul because
Long term planning is needed when it comes to Barry. Some guy
yeah,
told me in the chat, or I think it was in the comments, he said something along the lines of, I hope that they will kick both of them out, referring to Bama and Frank. And I said, no, I think it should be the other way around. I think they should keep Bama and kick the other guy out of the country. I think that would be great. I mean, that would be the best. Barry, keep him in the Philippines, in jail. The other guy, Frank, make sure that he gets kicked out. I think
no,
that would
I
be
think Bama should
best.
get kicked out and Frank should die on the beach and the Ascals eat him because they were hungry. That's what I think should happen. I think that's funnier, man. It's kind of like,
I think that would be that would be something like an happy end. I remember I did a survey on here and I asked people, what do you want to happen? Are you rooting for Frank? Are you rooting for Barry? Or are you undecided? And the fourth option was mutual destruction. And I opted for that. And mutual destruction could mean a lot of things. Mutual destruction could mean Barry gets out of the detention center, is absolutely mad about everything, goes over to Santa Fe, stabs Frank with a knife. Frank dies 3 days later in the ICU in some Santa Fe veterinary clinic, right? Because they got nothing better out there. And Barry gets a jail term of, life in prison, something like that, for murder. And that for me would be happy end. Or both of them just kill each other, or both of them end up in jail. I do not do I do not do that mistake others seem to do. And that's, I don't hate Frank because of what he does to Bama. Or I'm not rooting for Bama because I do not like Frank. I think both of them deserve to be taken care of one way or the other. I think both of them are terrible people. I think both of them are. They really deserve what is happening to them. The problem is that Frank is just a lot more clever when it comes to scam and play the system, milk the system. I mean, that's number one. He did that in the US already. That's the reason why he has an income. And number two, that's the reason why Barry is behind bars and still cannot leave the country, because you need a clearance, and because there are pending criminal charges, they won't let him leave the country.
I
As
don't
far as
think he could leave the country whether Frank had a case or not because he owes a lot of fucking money and he doesn't have the money to fly out. And there's only one person I know in the community that would give him the money to fly out if he
and who
could.
is that?
And I will break his fucking hands if he ever does. I will personally come to fucking Philippines and break his hands.
I
Okay.
actually thought he already settled these fucking visa fees. I mean, that's the least that they could have done for him.
None
But if
of it.
that's not
None
the
of it
case,
is settled. And why you're sitting, and here's the rules why you're sitting in detention center, your bill for visa is adding up
hmm
even more. You have to once they catch you, they say, "Hey, you gotta, as long as you're here, you have to extend your visa. You have to extend it now." And he's not doing that. He's sitting there complaining about how he had a bag of chips and what a corn dog or something for dinner.
do
You
you
know?
not a corn dog, chili con carne, or a chili without beans? I mean, that really cracked me up. The first time I heard that, that was like last
Yeah.
year. Knopfler sent me that sound bite, and he sent it, and then I listened to it, and then the last part of it was like, "Hey, I'm going through some rough times here. It's not fun,
Hmm.
and I just had like chili without beans and a couple of Pringles, and I felt like, oh wow, that's really bad. Chili con
Oh
carne
man,
without chili beans is
hit
kind
them
of like
thumbs up,
without
man.
the
You got
glass.
41 in the live chat, man. That chili con carne thing really is something else. Uh, Aloe. I
We got
was just,
we got 40 plus people in the live chat. Welcome to the
uh,
live chat. That just shows that there's still a lot of love out
uh,
there for the Chester. Give my fucking live stream a thumbs up, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a while since the last live stream. I didn't expect that I would have like more than 10 people listening, since it's kind of like it must be like past midnight over there in the US in some parts, and it's like 12:38 p.m. in the Philippines. But since we have like so many listeners here, we just keep going. I have a few other questions for you. You mentioned um, that you are going to do some sort of a, how should I say, an anniversary show. Will you address other issues as well? And I know you will, because if you have guests on there, people will always try to talk over you and then push their own agenda. Hi to Flying Circus, by the way. You're doing a great job. If you haven't yet, go over there to Flying Circus's channel and check out his vlogs, his skits. Are you familiar with his skits, by the way, Popeye?
oh yeah, quite, quite. He's the one always telling me, Popeye, harder rock and roll. He likes the real rock and roll when I do the intro. And I like a lot of people don't really like the heavy headbanger stuff, man. So I try to find a happy medium. So be patient with me there, Flying Circus, okay? And to answer your question, if somebody comes on and they say to me, "Hey, I want to talk about this subject," and it's appropriate, I'm pretty liberal when it comes to that, okay? Because you just can't talk about the same thing over and over. It's fun to talk about how we trigger Frank. That's fucking hilarious. I mean, today I was just when I got the messages today, I was just laughing. I was fucking dying. I said, "Man, my live stream finally sunk in. Here it is Wednesday, and it's Thursday there, right, Aloe?" And dude, it's finally sinking in what I said on my live stream Sunday night. and he's finally responding to it. I think
He responded to it because he probably didn't have a stable internet connection in the last few.
no, I think it's a bigger problem. I think he's getting senile. I think he's forgetting shit. Okay. Heard him on a live stream saying, "Yeah, well, I'm here in Hawaii," and I'm thinking, "No, Frank, you're in Philippines, dude." And I was kind of shocked, you know. I was kind of
And
shocked, and I'm telling you, and I was talking to somebody else this morning, and they were telling me the same fucking thing, and I said, "You're shitting me." I don't want to give their name up, you know, because I don't like to give names up. The people that give me information are totally different from Aloe's posse. Aloe's posse and my posse are two different entities. Okay. And dude, a lot of times we line up. We line up. We get the same information. A lot of times, uh, Aloe beats me to the real heavy stuff, like he's like the mug shots, the jail time.
the gaping assholes,
Yeah, the gaping asshole.
the war crimes.
But see, I don't I don't get jealous of that. I appreciate what Aloe does. He appreciates what I fucking do. I mean, and we're laughing at these idiots, you know? And I love how they always try to pit each other, pit us against each other all the time. It's not going to work.
You know why they do that? Because they function like that. They are driven by some sort of jealousy and competition. They are
Oh,
not.
he used the jealousy word tonight. I
Yeah,
was
but look, the
laughing when
thing
he
is
did
this:
that.
there are people out there who use this as a competition. They made it some sort of a competition by saying, look, make sure that you heard it from the right people. What do I mean by that? It's kind of like Frank. He comes out and says, I did my research. I know how to dig up information. I, Frank, know how to dig up information. No, you don't. And why do I and why do I know that? Because the people who feed you that information, that's our fucking guys. I mean, I could send you an email using my own email address and you would not realize that because you are a very stupid, gullible person. And the Alan Fry disaster proves that. And you still do not admit to it, even though the evidence is overwhelming. It could be Alan Fry. It is Alan Fry. The reason why it's Alan Fry is because Allah denies it's Alan Fry. And when I say, no, I am Alan Fry, then he says, yeah, but Aloe is trying to pull the trick on us. It's a little bit like reverse psychology. He says he's Alan Fry because he wants nobody to know that he is Alan Fry. And so what make a choice, my friend. I told you already that it was me who emailed Eric Baguio Life, Eric's thing, to forward it to you. And you actually read out loud my email to Eric. And why Eric? I told this story 100,000 times. Eric came on the WTF show. WTF was not very happy about something, kicked Eric off the panel. And I thought, okay, we can use Eric now as our spy. Basically, Eric would go to Frank. Frank listened to the show. Frank realized, oh, maybe Eric and these guys had a falling out. That's why Eric is credible as a source of info. That's how we played Frank. And
You
up
know
to
what
this,
that reminds me
he
of,
never,
man?
he never addressed that. Frank, if you look at this as a competition, every now and then you just got to give it to us. You should let us win on that one. You should admit, hey, Aloe, you pranked me. Next time I'm going to prank you. Well, that's never going to happen. Then, fast forward, I went to Bantayan. He was talking about the German guy, Greek restaurant. I said, yeah, I know that Greek restaurant. It's Mike, right? Michael. And I just made that shit up. And then it sticked. Frank was like, "Oh, wait a second. You mean Michael? Michael, the guy from Germany? Yeah, 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 that Michael from Germany, right? I could have came up with like Ian from Ireland or John from Portugal. Something will always stick." And he was like, "Okay, let me think. Yeah, pre-pandemic, there was a German guy, Mike. He had a Greek tavern around here in Santa Fe. I don't know fucking Mike or any Greek taverns. Check the fucking tarpaulin. I was there. I was not there like 2 or 3 years ago. And he always claims aloe is completely a non-topic, right? I'm not going to talk about the trolls anymore tonight. We are all talking about cholesterol, medicine, and omega
How many
3.
Xanax you should take in a week?
Yeah, or I know a thing or two about blood pressure and cholesterol and stuff like that.
You know what
It's
that Eric shit
fucking
reminds me
passed
of?
away. It's
You
your fucking
remember
brother
the
who just passed away a couple of weeks ago, and you might follow him even earlier than you think. Because with all these health nuts, one morning they get up, they have a fucking stroke. And that's shit like that happen. Or they get diagnosed, they have this or that disease. It's often the people who are really preoccupied and think that they will live like 100 plus years. They're the guys who will suffer one way or the other. Don't be so fucking stubborn and proud about getting a few results from blood work results that indicate that you are in a better shape than you think. It's really not a big deal. Thank you very much. My wife just brought me a cup of iced tea. Thank you very much.
good
So
wet
this
your
is
beak here, man. Wet your beak for a minute. This shit, this
and
shit with
just
Eric.
also give me.
This
Oh wow!
reminds me. You
Thank you very
remember
much.
the vlog I did on Eric? It was called Secret Agent Man.
Secret agent man.
Yeah, Secret Asian Man. Because we used to call Eric Secret Squirrel and shit like that. He always had.
No, it's quite
It's
amazing
it's
how
fucking
Frank reacts to
hilarious, man.
things.
And
It's
tonight he used the term, and Popeye is just jealous. And
He
oh
has
my
never had a
god.
wife since 35 years. And Arlo is not married. But if he is married, then his wife must be as insane as he is because he is hiding in the room and she doesn't know what he is talking about. Arlo is not even married. Or is he married? He's married with a husband, or is it a wife? No, I'm married with my own mom, Frank. I'm married to my mom.
Oh Jesus, don't say that.
Whatever the fuck you want me to be. The difference is whatever you say, it doesn't really matter, and that's what trolling is all about. And you're not doing a good job at it, Frank, because at the end of the day, the reason why people listen to you is because you are a train wreck, because they find you funny, not because of your jokes, because you are a joke. And it's the same with these guys over on the Philippines. So yeah, the big woman and the Pinoy twink. That couple loves to talk about drama, and now we'll make sure that they will become the drama because everybody needs to be taught a lesson. And if you have that kind of a past, you really are in no position to come on here and to point fingers at anyone. Period. Because people will come to that very same conclusion in a couple of days, probably in a couple of weeks, because this will take the community by storm. What? That big woman is what? That big woman really did that? I don't believe that. Show me the papers, show me the news articles, show me the court documents, and then boom, and then there is only silence. Oh wow, that's a big one. Because this woman said on her live streams several times, all they got is my weight. All they got is that we are poor. All they got is this. No, we're not going to talk about your weight. I'm not going to make fun about your weight. Have you heard anything negative, any bad comment, any joke about your weight or your looks or the way how you carry yourself. No, there's no reason for that. I leave that to the other trolls. We are the guys who are going to show the community who you really are. The past you conveniently try to avoid. And listen, maybe we should turn this show here into every woman has a story, because oh boy, when I saw that, I couldn't believe what I read. And then I looked at the pictures, and I had doubts because the mugshot doesn't really look like her. And then I saw the pictures where she slowly gained weight over the years, and I was then able to see, okay, yeah, no doubt, that is her, that is her, and that's a big one. That is really a big one. And you will read something that's kind of like off the fucking charts crazy. She tried. This is just a small story that I just have to put it out now. She tried to blackmail the person at the pharmacy to give her prescription drugs, right? I don't know what kind of drugs they were. And you know how she did that? You know how she tried to convince the people at the pharmacy to give her these fucking meds that she really, really needs? Ask me, Popeye. Ask me, how did she do that? Try to act like in a Hollywood movie, as if you're so fucking, as if it's a nail biter, as if you really need to know. Don't ask me, Alo, how did she do that? I want you to, Alo, how did she do it? Something like that, something real.
Aloe,
Okay.
dude, you need to fucking tell me right goddamn now. How the flying fuck did she do that?
That was not good enough, but I let it go for now.
Oh, thank you. That's
do you
mighty
do you
wise of
guys
you.
do you guys in the chat think that was good enough? Give me a one, or you think, yeah, it was not. He tried, but it was not good enough. One, he passes. Two, he failed. But let me answer that question. She went into a fucking pharmacy shop and basically started to scream, "I need this! Give me, give me, give me, give me, give me these fucking meds!" Right? And then she said, "If you don't give me the fucking meds, I'm going to blow up the whole place because I have a bomb with me." She
Oh,
she brought the
Jesus.
fucking a hoax bomb, something that looked like the fucking bomb, into the fucking pharmacy to threaten the people there to give her the fucking prescription meds. Now, is that crazy or crazy, or is it really crazy? You tell me.
That's fucking crazy, man.
And you know what? Since
That's
she is
fucking
around,
lunacy.
she comes from your area, you will probably be familiar with the counties in the mentioned in the court documents, as well as the news articles, online news articles of several news outlets in your area in Florida.
Oh, dude, just give me the year in the county.
Um, I don't have I don't have the email with me here, and I also don't want to give it to you. You know why? Because
Okay.
else you're going to put it out there. Let me just open my iced tea here and take a bite. You will put it out there, and then you will get all the credit. And I want the fame.
Oh
I
no,
want.
I don't want to put shit out there on.
But
That
actually, I do
that's
not.
all
I do not.
you.
I do not really have it here. But let me just open that, since you asked, because I plan to put it out step by step. But let me just go back here. News article here. So that's the. It's the Tampa Bay motherfucker.
Oh, if you're talking Tampa Bay, you're probably talking Hillsborough County. You know.
Let me just Florida Department of Corrections, and this is the Florida Department of Corrections.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
dude, that's a fucking state prison.
yeah. Current prison sentence.
That's
Oh,
big. That's big boy time
you
right
think
there.
that?
That's not fucking county jail, man.
I'm looking at the fucking mark shots here,
Dude,
my
that's
friend. I'm
that's
looking at the
fucking
fucking.
big boy time, man. Oh, fuck.
Oh boy, let me just put it there. I was just looking at the pictures. I cannot fucking find it, but it's really like
It's no
I
matter.
will send it. I will send it anyway. I have like the personal information and everything. The aliases is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 aliases,
See,
different names.
to me, it's
Uh,
just a puzzle. If you give me the county and the name, I could probably find all the news articles, read it, laugh my ass off, and then just pick
hang on a second here.
out.
Okay, good. Here we go. Here we go. I found it. I found it. Tampa Bay. I would, I don't want to, I don't
Yeah,
want to.
not on live here, man. Just
No,
yeah.
we'll do it on live. We do it on Out of the Winter. I'm too lazy to create. I'm too lazy to pretend and lie to you guys and say that a friend of mine created a. My wife just tried to take something on the desk and something fell down, so I got a little bit distracted. But I'm too lazy to create the Discord group and then pretend somebody else did it, so I'm going to put it out here, right here on the All of the Winter live stream. And I would be glad if you guys could give me a thumbs up for this one, because All of the Winter chismes based on facts. I'm going to put the link in there, and then I would like somebody to read it out loud. And since you are the only guy on the panel, why don't
I
you do
got you.
that for
I
me?
got you covered.
Okay, good.
Woman held in fake bomb drugstore holdup attempt. Oh my fucking god, this is
Can,
good,
can, can you
man.
can you just read the title again very slowly, just for the
W-
sensational effect of it, because the title
Woman
itself
held
picks me up.
in fake bomb drugstore holdup attempt. Oh,
Oh, good. Please go
oh
ahead.
man. So
Oh, hang on a
a
second. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Can you read it again, just one more time?
okay. Woman held in fake bomb drugstore holdup attempt.
Okay, now you can read the article, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. A 34-year-old woman was arrested Thursday, accused of robbing a drugstore and trying to rob another. Oh man, she wanted to do a twofer. All right. Authorities say Heidi E. Hagagak carried a fake bomb into Walgreens. God damn, and I go into Walgreens on US 19 Thursday morning and demanded and got several prescription drugs from the pharmacist. Newport Richie, oh my fucking god. Newport Richie police were investigating the case. On Thursday evening, authorities said she went into a Walgreens on Massachusetts Avenue with a fake bomb and a syringe filled with liquid. Holy shit.
That's what
Pasco
Netflix does.
Pasco sheriff officials say Hagagag went to the pharmacist and displayed a note asking for various drugs. Deputies arrested her and she waited for the pharmacist to fill her request. A sheriff officer reports say after someone from the store called the authorities. Yes, people, there'll be always somebody that pimp you out when you're doing something like this. Hagagag of 6440 Main Street, Apartment 8, which is Section 8 housing, was being held in the county jail Friday She faces charges of robbery, attempted robbery, display of a hoax bomb.
Now,
Holy shit.
give me your thoughts, give me your reaction. Try to
Dude,
take a second and
dude, you asked the
take
right
it all
person. You asked the right person to read this. Because Pasco County is a big county. Y'all know I live in Pasco County. Y'all know fucking dipshit Nico lives in Pasco County. Newport Richie, which is a halfway decent neighborhood, is right up the road from me. Okay? I know the Walgreens. I know the Walgreens that they're talking about. Okay? And, you know, when did this happen? November 7th, 2005. And I'm going to tell you why this happened in November 7th, 2005. Back in 2005, when I started working for the local government here, fucking we were having what's that drug they not ecstasy but oxycontin. We were having a oxycontin crisis here in Florida in all the counties. There's so many people hooked on it, fucking roaming US 19, fucking drooling on themselves. It was huge, and they would do anything to get a hold of the oxycontin. Okay, and I'm telling you, this is why this type of shit happens. Fucking drugs. Just say fucking no to drugs, people. Okay, fucking no to drugs. All right. An edible once in a while and a good blunt, it's okay, but the rest of it, no. Say no to drugs. Okay. And dude, and you know, to see a woman commit a crime of this fucking nature just shows you how fucked up women are today. I mean, does this kind of shit happen in Philippines? Do women in Philippines do this kind of shit?
well, depends on the woman, right? I just want to put out there that the reason why I had you on the show here tonight is because we wanted to discuss the drug problem in the state of Florida. Popeye is from Florida, and that's the only reason why we read out loud this article. It has absolutely nothing to do with the Philippines genre, and it's not related to anyone in this genre. The reason why I brought it up is because I wanted to improve my English language skills. There is no
Oh,
bad
and I tell you,
intention,
your English is coming
absolutely
along
nothing.
quite spiffy. I mean,
Oh, thank
really,
you
I
very
think I'm talking to an irregular American these days, you know?
much. You know what? Fuck you, Popeye. But I just had to put that out there. There's no ill intention. We don't want to defame anyone. And just to all the YouTube lawyers out there and the supporters of certain people, if you want to bring on a case because of defamation, this is public
That was a
information.
very
Public
interesting
information.
article. Very
Public
interesting
information.
article. Very
Hmm.
interesting. Yeah.
Now, do you think I promised the community too much? Talking about somebody who's doing live streams, talking about somebody who is all high and mighty, pointing the fingers at this person and that person, and then looking the other way just because of AdSense money, just because of the source of income. Then they promote people, enable people, or actually promoting the exploitation of women and children in the Philippines. And then they, come online and, they they do whatever they want, and then they have this kind of a past. Are you really in the position to come online on a live stream and then brag, act the way you act, and then this is your past? I mean, this is not something like trying to steal some gummy bears at the local grocery stores. This is not about taking a little bit of money out of the the money box at the church, right? This is some serious fucking shit. And now let me tell you this to the people out there who still doubt. Yeah, but that's not the real. I mean, is that her? How do we know it's her? How do we know it's her? Wait until all the mugshots are out, the court documents are out, and then you will say, "Oh yeah, Paolo didn't promise us too much."
I put a link in the private chat for you. I I just want you to click on it and read the title and come back and talk to me.
The private chat. Where is the private chat? Here's the private chat. So I'm going to click on it, and then yeah, the you idiot. Yeah, yeah. What's your question?
I mean, my question is why?
Why what?
Why that? Why that, man? I mean, I don't I don't get it. I mean, we're in 2024, are we not?
Hmm. I mean, we're talking about the guy who's actually bashing. Uh, I mean, the guy on the clip itself.
You just read it. He's bashing a certain person, and he's bashing the person's orientation when it comes to sexual preference. And I
I
say
think people
why?
do that all the time.
I
They
say
try to
why?
find
It's
fault with.
2024. I mean, I don't get it. It's just something I won't do on my channel. I refuse to do something like that, you know, and I just refuse.
I think people start to do that all the time. It's like a defense mechanism. If you ask me about why do people do that, why do they bash people based on their
Yeah.
sexual orientation, I think they do that because they want to deflect from something else. This is the reason. And the thing is this: it does make a huge difference if what you say is based on facts. And a majority of people really pays attention to that.
Yeah.
um, when Frank says that Popeye is a loser, why is he a loser? Because Popeye cannot afford to go to the Philippines. You have to assume then that you, Popeye, want to go to the Philippines, but you can't go to the Philippines for whatever reason. That's not the case. That's simply not the case. So why does Frank keep insisting that you would want to do something that you are actually a capable of, and b you just don't want to do it because you did that already? You are part of this community. Everybody knows that. I mean, let's take another example. For instance, DNC is a extremely decent, down to earth guy. I really appreciate our conversations since several years online, and you get a good sense and feeling for what kind of a man he is. And he is one of the most decent guys I've ever met on this fucking platform. He is a good man. DNC, a very creative mind, is known in this community for his skits, for his editing skills, for his extremely funny pocket pussy video that triggered Frank up to this day.
Oh,
And
that was so classic.
it
Yeah.
is a classic. It's one of the top 10 short clips out there in this community. It's something that the community, or he, will always be remembered for. He's a great guy. And DNC has never been in the Philippines, but he is an integral part of what we call the Philippines community around here. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you live in the Philippines or not. It doesn't matter if you've ever been in the Philippines or not, because we are not talking really about the Philippines as a culture or the people. We are mostly talking about people that are from your country, whether you're from Australia, New Zealand, North America, or Europe, who are somehow related to the Philippines due to the fact that they are married to a Filipina, because they have maybe served in the army, military, navy in the Philippines, or because they just take an interest in these fucking train wrecks that go over there in the Philippines. And DNC belongs to the group who takes an interest in these people, watching them, like Frank, like others, and making skits and videos about them. And that's absolutely legit, good enough to be part of this community. Who decides about who is part of this community or not? Definitely not Frank. Definitely not a loser like him. And look, this in itself, being in the Philippines, is not a sign of accomplishment or something like that. You just happen to be there, yes or no. It doesn't take big amounts of money. It's not a sign of being extremely wealthy or successful or something like that, because we have Bama, the poster boy of poor man's travel to Southeast Asia. And then we have others who actually live a good life in the Philippines. It's all about improving your living conditions, your circumstances. And that's the reason why people go there to the Philippines or come here to the Philippines. And so I ask myself, why does he always try to bring up these attack lines, so to speak? Popeye has not been in the Philippines for 40 years. Alo doesn't show his face on YouTube. Maybe they are broke. Maybe they are hiding something. Maybe they are mentally ill or something like that. They always jump to the worst possible conclusion, and their goal is to dismiss the criticism, the legit criticism we have, and our opinion, calling us trolls. And smart people see through that. Smart people say, you know what? You can't just dismiss everything as hearsay. You can't just dismiss everything as, they're just trolling. They have no credibility. Look at the fucking facts. And you'll see and hear and realize and come to the same conclusion. When somebody is on here for years already, in some cases for years already, talking about shit, talking about their families, their background, their education, their way of life, and then they put themselves on cam and you read their comments, it gives you a pretty good idea about what they are about, how they think, how they feel about certain things, because you don't need to sit in front of a person to figure out how this person thinks and what kind of a personality he has. Because if you listen to people, you focus on what they say, you focus on what they write. You focus on how they react under stress when they get trolled or when they are confronted with certain issues, financial problems, visa issues, trouble with their girlfriend, wife, and they do that online. It really gives you a very, very good idea about who they are. And it pisses people like Frank off big time, because they then say, you guys know nothing about me. You guys think that you know me, that you know something about me, that you know so much about me. No, you don't need to be a psychologist, a psychiatrist. You just need to pay attention to what they say, how they say it, when they say it, and what they leave out when they share their views, their thoughts about whatever topic comes up. And Frank is a perfect example of that. Did you hear more than once when he gets pissed at his girlfriend? He's very short-tempered. Hilda, why? No, I said you need to close the door. And do you want to argue with me? What's going on? Then he mutes the mic. He's extremely fucking agitated when he's on his live streams. He's very
She
angry.
must walk on eggshells, because I've heard him do that. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of fucked up, man. And as for DNC, I don't give a shit that he's never been to the Philippines.
Yeah, but I
If
know, but
you
who gives a fucking shit about being in
and
the
you
Philippines or
and
not,
you
right?
know why? And you know why? Because he has every right as anybody else to come in have an opinion. We're putting
Exactly.
this out on a fucking public airway, on a fucking platform. And it seems like this guy, he's got all these rules and regulations for everybody to fit his fucking narrative. And I don't do the rules for thee and not for me kind of shit. I don't do that. I mean, I, I can confidently say, A, I don't care what your sexual orientation is. B, I don't care if you've been to the Philippines or not and you're in the genre. This is what I care about. I care about that you have a intelligent, cogent thought. Okay? If you come off like some fucking buffoon, sounding like special ed, please go away. Okay? Please go away. Go
Because
go the
it
fuck
has
away.
no teeth.
And you as an American citizen, a guy who fought for your rights for 20 years, how can I sit there and honestly tell you you can't talk about this genre because you ain't been here for 30 years? You can't talk about this genre because you ain't been to Philippines. That's a crock of shit. You could talk about anything you fucking want. 90% of my viewers are from America, not the fucking Philippines. Okay? The 10% from Philippines that listen, 8% of them are good people, and the 2% of them, the Jordans, the Batagulas, they're the fucking idiots. Okay? And usually I just don't like to come out and say that somebody's a fucking idiot. I like to use a little
You want to
finesse
dissect it.
and play,
Why? You,
you
you want
know?
to dissect it why somebody is an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But in the short term, I've dissected both these two idiots many fucking times.
It's just
And I
fucking bug
will
my
dissect the bald headed toothless wonder Sunday night. Be there, be fair, be fucking square. We'll all have a good time. Aloe's gonna light a candle. We're gonna sing a song. We'll sing Give Peace a Chance, Aloe. Wouldn't that be fitting for Aloe? For
I think that
for
would be wonderful.
for Barry,
I think
you know, you
I think that
know.
would be extremely that would be a very memorable moment in the YouTube history of the Philippines genre,
you
I
know,
would say.
and this clown says that, he talks about my girlfriend. Well, he's finally calling her the right thing. Well, she's not even a girlfriend, she's a mistress. And actually, I feel bad for her that she has to put up with him. And when he dies, I'm going to send her a congratulatory card from Hallmark, okay?
you know,
And
I remember the time a couple of years ago when somebody actually made a comment or a skit. I do not know who it was, but I do remember somebody said Gilda is a hostage. It's a hostage
she is. She
situation.
is. That was fucking
And he
perfect
fucking
analogy right
lost
there.
his mind. He
Yeah.
lost his fucking temper big time. He really lost his shit. He was so angry about it. It's like, she's not a hostage. She is here because she loves me. She does this because she loves me. Ah! And he fucking lost his fucking shit. And you know what? I think, I really think that she is really walking on eggshells around him.
Exactly.
Extreme
I believe
simpleton.
so too, man.
I say she is a simpleton,
Hmm.
and I really am undecided when it comes to the question: should we draw her into the drama, yes
No, we
or
shouldn't.
no?
We shouldn't.
And,
I
and,
say
and I
no.
tell you, I understand why you would react this way, and your initial reaction is no, we should not. I understand that because usually I'm with you with that. But she has come on here several times where she started to bash you and others and Dave. And I just thought, you know what? Maybe you should just keep doing what you do, but leave YouTube alone because, it's not going to end well for you because we have so much information on you and, everybody else, and it's going to get ugly. And maybe it's not something that you should do. Because I must tell you, I think that she should just shut the fuck up and not say anything at all. And I said that last year on one of my live
You
streams
did.
and
You did.
said, you would never say that to her face in my house or in my town or something like that. And something else that crosses my mind now is the fact that Frank said, that you just have a big mouth, Popeye, because you are in the US, you are far away, in a safe place. And now I want to ask Frank, what would you do if I would say the same things Popeye says about you, Frank? How would you react? Because it seems to me that you always move the goalposts, right? Because in my case, he just ignores it. And in your case, he makes it a big deal because you're over in the US, and he also makes it a big deal with Roberto. Now, he's very proud of the fact or about, when it comes to Bama, he's very proud about what he did to Bama. And he often says something along the lines of, you guys need to be very careful what you say. Don't cross the line. Don't talk bad or anything bad about me or my woman, because you guys out there know what happened to Bama, right? That's always it's always the same line. It's basically saying, I'm dangerous, I can put you behind bars. Well, the thing is, Bama is behind bars because he has no money. Bama is behind bars because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. Bama is behind bars because he named Frank by name and called him the P word more than hundreds of times. And now it's down to only 5 counts of cyber libel. But that's just the fact. He was very careless about how to operate on the internet. And that's why Frank used that against Bama. The fact that Bama was, treating women like shit and, threatening people with a knife on a live stream and doing the things he didn't really help. And the fact that he never really paid for his visa fees was also not really very helpful. I think if he would have paid his visa fees, if he would kept updated his visa fees updated, I think he wouldn't be in the trouble he is in now. He
No,
could
he
have
wouldn't. He
easily
wouldn't.
paid bail, and
Uh,
he would be free, and he might have left already, and he would be in a safe place somewhere in the US, and might have moved on to another country. And Frank might have decided not to pursue the legal case anymore, I
uh,
mean the case anymore. But that's the problem. He fucked the state, and he fucked with somebody else, and the other side can prove it. The other side can prove that there are 5 counts of cyber libel and there's probable cause. I was told that, um, I read up about it. Everybody is uh, invited to do the same. I read up about the fact that prosecutors' offices always only um, decide to move the case to the court, to the judges for resolution when they believe that it has a high chance to succeed, because they do not want to waste any money. This was a memorandum from the Supreme Court going out to all the prosecutors'
oh,
offices
he's
throughout the
fucked.
Philippines.
He's
So they're
fucked.
basically saying, dismiss it when you can, But if there is a high chance that we can, you know, come out with the guilty verdict, then let's do this. Let's file a case, because there's a preliminary investigation. Both sides will be heard. Then there is the decision of the prosecutor. Is there probable cause? Will we move it to for resolution to the court level? And that's what they did in this case. And so they must have a very, very strong case, because even if Barry will only be found guilty in one case of cyber libel, then this means it's going to take years for him. And Frank will not let go.
Oh, no.
You're not able to leave the country until you get that clearance, that you serve.
But I want you
sentence.
I want you to circle back to Gilda. This is what I believe. And this is just a guess, a scientific wild ass guess, a swag. I believe when Gilda comes out on the live stream and she says those things, I believe somebody's got their hand up her ass and are moving her lips. Okay?
Yes,
tell me I'm fucking wrong.
I'm not going to tell you're fucking wrong. I think you are very right about that, Frank. And the Omar is here, ladies and gentlemen.
You get a twonky. Twonkies for everybody.
World balance, just like New Balance. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Omar is here. Andy, welcome to the show. We did a live stream on your channel last week. The topic was regular guy Scotty. Can you give us a short overview about the shorts, about who Scotty is?
Yeah, before you go into that, Aloe.
Sorry?
Aloe, before you go into that,
yeah,
I gotta call it a night. It's really late here. It's 1:30 in the morning.
I was wondering about that already, but I really appreciate the fact you came on here. We didn't plan this. It was an impromptu live stream. Popeye One, always a pleasure. Former RRR royalty on YouTube. I look forward on to the Sunday show. And speaking of Sunday, Andy, Jeff Lee Brown will do a live stream on Jeff Lee Brown show. Popeye will talk later. Thank you very much for coming on. And I really hope I can make it this time, because it's always fun. I think it's the 1 year anniversary is coming up, and I want to be part of that. Thank you very much, Popeye.
You're welcome. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good one.
Wow, this turned out to be a fucking marathon show now. It's like short update, I titled this, and then I got YouTube royalty again on the panel. Andy Omar, how are you?
Pretty good. Happy, actually. Celebrating, in a way.
Tell me why. Celebrate, happy, that sounds good. Tell me why. Tell our audience why. Celebrate about what?
You don't really hear me saying happy, right? Well, there was this press in Malacanang. They held a press briefing with the PNP, the DOJ, and
let me guess, it's about the illegal parking, is it?
No.
No? Please go ahead.
It's about protecting children. So they will come down on any type of online abuse. They will try to come down on it hard, big time.
Wow.
And it doesn't have to be, it doesn't mean touching the kids. It doesn't mean, like having sex with them, right? It means exploitation, like using them for profit. Like you're doing a live stream and you're recording kids on a park playing. Yeah, that's a form of abuse, exploitation. Any sort of, that's what President Marco has come down. I've known about this thing because it has came down to somebody that up there since last Friday, and I got the heads up this morning that it was going to happen. And basically, it's targeting one is, yeah, the online abuse. Yeah, there's the pedos, the abusers, and all that. But the one part that was interesting that the first half was talking about was about these bloggers, how they use kids. Like, it doesn't matter how, if they're having sex with them or anything. It's about using them for profit. Like, for example, they're doing videos in their channels or zooming in on kids, like a certain person, and they're gonna be investigated big time.
I saw the link that you put in the chat. You and I, we used to talk a lot about all these cases regarding Scotty, and months and years ago about the frog and his bachelor course. But it's definitely very, very interesting, because I think it's time that the government does more about this. I read about a New Zealand guy, I believe it was an American guy, who was coming into the Philippines uh, from New Zealand. I'm not 100% sure. And he is a known pedophile. And the PNP and the airport security immediately put him back on the plane and denied him entry into the Philippines. It was on Phil Star a day or two ago. And it seems to me that they are doing more when it comes to these problems, because it's a rampant problem in the Philippines. I would like to give the viewers, the audience here, a short overview about this guy that you are going after, Scotty. I don't want to get into details, but can you give us just a short overview about your role in this, because you have been very active. And again, if you haven't checked it out yet, Andy, Omar, and I did a live stream last week, I believe. That I think that was like 8 days ago on Wednesday. And I think you are going to go on Jeff Lee Brown's show this coming Sunday. And Jeff Lee Brown came out with a couple of community posts, and it says something along the lines of due to massive attacks coming from the supporters of irregular guy, we decided to continue the journey, and we'll fight back. And many people are reaching out to us. There are many good men and women out there who are joining the fight against these predators, pedophiles, and so on and so forth. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, the regular guy, he has started this channel like since 2022. He's always been a super fan. He's been watching guys like you, Allo. He's been watching my channel. He's been watching Mike and Mike's channel. So he basically does watch these channels like Go Job and all that. He used to be a commenter. He has a lot of sock accounts. So yeah, I'm sure he's watching this live stream right now. So he was like a super fan, and he was working in Korea. This guy, he as soon as he graduated from high school, I guess he started to work, and he wanted to move abroad to Korea. I guess he came to the Philippines when he was 19. Then he started his work, and he actually went to apply. He got a job in Korea, applied with a fake degree. So he bought a degree from instantdegrees.com or something like that. And then he went to Korea and got a job.
Actually, I heard about that. He misrepresented himself when he
Yes.
applied for several jobs. The resume, it doesn't add up. The timeline, the degrees, they do not know anybody with that name at those institutions. And he also got involved in several what they were referring to as illicit affairs, relationships at
Yeah.
his South Korean language schools, and then definitely got into problems, and then moved to the next adventure, and this time to the Philippines. He reached out to all kinds of big vloggers, tried to become buddy with them, because he needed their backing. And it seems to me that since you went on to that channel I think their channel's name. Let me just look. I think it's Philippine Antiques. You went on there and
Yeah.
you had you had an encounter on there, and I always felt, and you know that my view on this is kind of like they are trying to stay neutral in this case, and in my view, there's really nothing to be neutral about when it comes to exploitation of children, when it comes to the promotion of pedophilia online. And it seems to me that they are extremely afraid to take a stand here. And I always felt something is off with these guys. And I believe you heard about the news article Popeye just read out loud. There's more out there, mugshots, court documents, everything will be released soon. I would like to ask you, what are your thoughts about that? Your reaction to that? Is there something that surprises you? Give me your thoughts about the robbery, about the bomb hoax, about the syringe, about trying to rob a pharmacy, uh, being in jail for that. Is it something that you thought of when you met her? I think you mentioned
No, I
that you
didn't thought of
personal.
her like that. Like she seemed like a sweet old lady. This is pretty shocking to me.
I think it was
I
pretty.
Yeah, when I met her at the bikini contest, that
But I
didn't
don't think
sound
she
right.
was participating. But she was not participating in it,
No, no,
right?
no. Of course not. She was not participating. I am sorry, but
I'll give you a second to recover
yeah.
from that. Oh shit! Yeah.
All right. So when I met her, I guess it was in the scoreboards and all that stuff. I didn't think of that. So, and it's pretty shocking. Papa and you, and I was like, whoa, that's insane. I didn't even know about that stuff. That's crazy.
It is, yeah. It absolutely is. I was not really shocked about it because I always felt like something is off with them, with especially with her, because when she made comments like "I grew up in the rough neighborhood in Miami, and we are not afraid out of the winter troll, and if it comes down to a physical confrontation, we are not going to hide." And then I felt like, why are you talking about physical confrontation? Why are you so resentful? Why are you so agitated already? I didn't even make a comment yet. You're talking about me. You're making comments about me. And I come in peace. I showed up in the chat and they said, you know what? We could have a chat. We could do a live stream together and so on and so forth. And, there were so many people who told her, out of the winter, the Chester, and all these RRR guys. These people are just very bad people. Careful, 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 right? And so she was kind of like influenced by all that negative PR I get. And I'm a little bit, yeah, maybe not a little bit, but I'm mighty proud of the fact that I have such a bad reputation among many bad people in this community, because you don't want to be buddy buddy with people like Scotty or the Frog or the other guys that we mentioned earlier on this live stream, and the guys we went after on RRR. You don't want to be friends with them, because decent people who know what's right and wrong, who make a difference between 16 years old and 26 years old, are the good people. They do not deal with people like them, the people who promote it and the people who enable it. And I'm not saying that that couple is, how should I say, involved in the exploitation of minors or something like that. But what I say is, I find it shabby that for AdSense money, or for out of fear to lose income, that you don't take a stand. Andy is obviously taking a stand. Jeffrey Brown is taking a stand. Love him or hate him, he says it like it is. He and you say things the way you think they are, the way you see it. And I think that's something that I always appreciate that, because you can afford to have an opinion, why is it that these bigger channels always have this almost agreement among them that you don't talk bad about another channel, no matter what they do, no matter how lousy, shabby their content is? And you must have seen that or noticed that as well, Andy. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, I've seen those contents that he made. His videos are very damning.
I mean, it's very obvious what's going on. Why is it that people still try to defend it? You know, they often, I heard, this is a statement I heard coming from their channel. They said, there are worse people out there. Scotty is not the only one. There are many bad people out there. Scotty is not the only one. You know what I hear when people say that? They say, leave Scotty alone. Don't go after him. Let him be. He is a nice guy. He's a nice guy because he is a good storyteller. He's a nice guy because he treats us nice. He's a nice guy because he's always friendly. Well, he uses that fake charm to get away with shit. This innocent, I'm just a grown man, but I'm still, I feel and think, still feel and think like a kid. I'm just like a small kid in a grown man's body. That's my thing, right? I explore the world. I go out there, I use a cam, and I tell you a story, and I show you the real Philippines. I'm innocent. You see things that don't exist. My videos have been manipulated. Andy is just a troll. Troll me, Andy. Troll me, Andy. And I found that very, very strange. And I didn't like the fact that he was on there complaining. And that's what somehow triggered me a bit when he said, Andy used my mother's picture and he put the Hitler mustache on her face. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that, Heidi?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me, how do you feel about that? And then Heidi was kind of like, well, that's not so good. If it's true, that's not so good. Then again, she tried to be neutral, right? She wants to give everybody a platform because she knows views are good for the income, and that's what they are after. And they have written pathetic and financial interest all over their channel. That's what they are all about. And I don't, and Andy, I understand you have no beef with them, and I hope there will be no beef after this, because they probably don't even know about this right now, about my live stream, because I am just a small little micro channel. But still, I have an opinion, and I am eager to share that opinion, my view on these issues with you. Let me ask you, are they getting some backlash now? Because you also said that they tried to be neutral, but they made comments about Scotty's behavior and took down and edited parts of their live stream, because apparently at the end of one of these live streams, Heidi said that it's okay to be with girls such as the ones Scotty features on his channel, despite the fact that they are like only 16 or 17 years old. Is that something that I misunderstood, or what's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't agree with them in that stance. So I know that they're trying to be neutral for the fact that they have been in some legal trouble before with the previous blogger, Brian. And I can understand that, and I guess they do not want the backlash from another blogger. So they might think that regular guy is going to lawyer up, or if so, that's why they're just working on they're just trying to sway on it, until there's an actual proof. But yeah, I can see that in some they're defending it, and some they're not. It's it's their channel. I cannot really say much. It's just that, I don't know. In their defense, I'm just gonna say that, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you're not gonna be in a house full of smoke, and just because you don't see a fire, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna be like, I'm just gonna sit right here. I don't see any fire. It's fine. Like there has to be a certain limit to things. But I can understand them, I in a way. But I guess they don't want to come out of it publicly and get backlash publicly. So I think they're doing it for revenue and all that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So hey, but for my channel, I don't really care. I'll just put it out there and say whatever. It's fine. Um, and also their channel, like I don't really gonna be talking shit to regular guy or whatever because it's their channel. So definitely they're watching their monetization and all that kind of stuff. So I get it. But the thing is that regular guy, he likes to put out these videos constantly. And even if you look at his latest interview, like he's with this guy and supposedly he's talking to him, right? Looking at him, but then he's every time there's a really young girl, like he's always like his eyes are like turning and shit, like it's crazy. Like he cannot keep focused. Um
No, he's
so yeah.
actually very. He's drawn to these girls. He's drawn to them. It catches his interest. He talks to them, and it's very obvious that's inappropriate behavior. Period. I mean, I heard Heidi and her boyfriend or whatever say things like, "You cannot walk down the street and avoid that there are kids there," and I get it, but they want to make it look like you the guy's just walking around and there are kids and there's nothing there. I then ask the question, why is it that he zooms in on these kids? Why does he slow down his cam when he edits his videos? Why does he make comments such as, "She has a nice smile, she is very charming, she is very happy"? Why does he make comments like that if he doesn't have no interest in them?
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
full of innuendos, and you were right about it. Heidi and George, I believe, their main interest is probably the revenue, and they don't want to get in trouble. And I think it was you who told me about the details regarding Brian's girlfriend of the incident that happened last year, where there was some sort of legal issue between the two parties
Yeah.
because of a threat. Apparently, Philly came out with a blog about it called "Somebody Threatened My Filipina Wife," my petite Filipina wife, something like that. And that really surprised me because I felt like, hey, is he talking about me? Is Philly and the Philippines talking about me? And I reached out to him and said, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't threaten anybody, right? This time it wasn't me, because we really had that conversation. He said, no, 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 it's not you, because sometimes there are people out there pretending to be me and threatening people on my behalf, which I think is a good thing. But I just wanted to make clear that, Brian, this time it wasn't me. And I heard Heidi's side, because I think it was you who was on there, and you also expressed your surprise about that incident on a live stream on their channel. And I listened to that part. It was like 5-6 minutes long. And you said something along the lines of, you were surprised, you didn't know that this happened, and you felt like they might have been, not the people they say they are. You were taken aback. I could really sense that. And then Heidi gave her side of the story and said, yeah, it was a misunderstanding. They misinterpreted the word confrontation, because Heidi basically said, we will confront you. I will confront Lot. I will confront her when she is out there with her kids, something along the lines of that. And so there was some sort of a misunderstanding. And then I made fun of it. You remember, like a day or two ago, when you and I chatted and said, okay, confrontation for Heidi means just meeting up for a coffee. It's kind of like, hey, Heidi, hey, George, what's up? I would like to confront you for a tea this afternoon, or you want to confront me and have some cake. Since when is confronting somebody something positive, right? It's kind of
Yeah.
like he tries to minimize it and basically say, yeah, confronting just means like, I will ask you a question. Why did you say this and that about it? But you could also somehow interpret it in a more negative way where you might physically confront somebody. Well, I gave her the benefit of the doubt, but then I read the court documents, I read the news article, I took a closer look at all these documents, at the mugshot and everything else. And then I must say, maybe when she says, I am going to confront people, maybe with her background, it might mean something else. I just leave that up to the audience to come to their own conclusion. What do you think will happen next? Did regular guy or his supporters reach out to you? His supporters, are they increasingly bashing you, trying to dismiss you? Because I read comments where they said, Andy Omar is just a jealous motherfucker. Andy Omar is just a prick.
Yeah, like there's nothing to be jealous about this dude, man. Like he lives on his motorcycle, like he doesn't have any assets, no property, no retirement, no nothing. I don't know what I would be jealous about. His freaking scooter, a moped? Like literally in the LTO, that shit's considered a moped. Like, what else? I don't know what I would be jealous of. What am I going to be jealous of? Being bashed that, why are you filming kids for 2 years straight? Like, I'm not going to be jealous of that. And there's people like his audience has reached out to me and they're like, Andy Omar, you did this 2 weeks ago and now people are going against regular guy. I'm like, this guy has been doing his channel since 2002. He's been making fun of Filipinas. He's been making videos talking about this shit since 2022, since October, around that time where he almost started his channel. So this is not new. He usually blocks the comments and everything. So there's also a video where Filipina was talking about how dare you, you're coming over here to the Philippines to fuck around, and then he justifies his deal by saying, "Hey, I'm gonna." He justifies it by saying, "What do you call it? Oh, these girls don't have opportunities. I am the white man, and I came over here." It's like that's it. Like, or he says that if this woman has any aspirations to get a job or go to school, that woman is not for me. That you might as well get them young while they don't have those aspirations. I'm like, what the fuck? It's a weirdo, man. Like most of it is like their comments is the age of consent is 16. The age of consent and then in his video as well, in JOB's video as well, they're like, there's nothing wrong with it. The age of consent is 16. It's like, what the fuck? So basically, that's how it happens. They're the ones, talking all this. And let's see. They've been coming over, but not anymore. What else? So I've been looking at his videos, and there's a lot of stuff. Like I've sent you the stuff right on Messenger, and it's pretty damning. Like he says, "Oh, these two girls came into my hotel in Angeles City, and my first day." And then I look at the screenshot of these two girls, and the one he's saying, I'll send it right here. If you can show it. And
no, I cannot.
Oh, okay.
I'm not as sophisticated as you are, Andy, with all the fucking
okay.
screenshots and stuff like that. I barely I barely know how to open an email. But look,
Yeah.
I see the same comments they made when you and Jeff and others went after Rike. And
Uh-huh.
the jealousy statement is always one of the funniest, probably most absurd statements or line of defense. Because I wonder what is it when what is it all about? What do they mean? What do they talk about when they say Andy Omar or this troll or that troll is just jealous about this and that? Because look, I would like to truly understand what is it you guys who support these people mean when you come out with statements such as Andy is just jealous, Popeye is just jealous. Roberto, this, that guy, Alo is just jealous because they dot dot dot. Because you have to finish that sentence, that thought. What is Andy jealous about? And I saw people who said the reason why Andy is doing this is because he wants more subs. He wants to get more views. And they must really live in their own small universe, because why would somebody go through all this shit just to gain a few more subs? It's almost
Exactly.
like internet and YouTube is their life, and they measure the success of a person by the number of views and subs they have. I hate to break it to you, but YouTube is a fun thing. It's a side thing. It's not even a side thing. It's a side thing of a side thing. It's so irrelevant and unimportant. Why is it that there are people out there who honestly believe that if you have a lot of subs and a lot of views, that your view, your thoughts, your personality means more than somebody who has a smaller channel, a smaller number of views, a smaller number of subs? Why is that? I can't believe that there are people out there who honestly think in these kind of categories. At the end of the day, if people like Scotty get a lot of views and a lot of subs, it just means that there are a lot of fucking sick pricks out there looking for this kind of sick, disgusting content. There's a big market out there for pedophilia. There's a big market out there for girls in school uniforms. All kinds of sick shit is out there. And you will always find a big market for each of these fetishes, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't
true.
really matter. I mean, it's just fucking absurd. And look, when you, Andy, showed me that picture of that extremely young girl where he was like bending over towards her, and he was looking at her, I felt like, wow, this girl is really young. And then something else that really catched my attention was when he claimed that these girls are of age, of legal age. They are 18 and above. They are college students. And that was like, wait a second. First of all, they don't look like college students. And why is it that they have these name tags, these ID chain holders around their neck? And it says
Yeah.
like senior high school, junior high school. And I was wondering, why is it that these college girls are wearing high school tags, high school chain IDs, or whatever you want to call it? And I think you zoomed in on that as well. And then the story changed again. Somebody who is dating women that are 18 might be doing nothing wrong in the legal sense. But in my view, it is morally wrong, because this is not about age gap relationships. Because Scotty tries to discredit these people as the age gap Nazis that are getting online and trying to find fault with others, with these vloggers. No, this is about decency. This is about people who watch YouTube and come across these creeps, and they don't just look the other way. They have an opinion about it. They come on here, they do live streams, they talk about it. They have a right to air their side, their views, and they don't like that. And so they dismiss people as trolls. These are just small channels. They're bashing the bigger channels because they're jealous of the AdSense money. They're jealous of their income. Scotty is a broke loser. The Philippine Antiques guys also don't look like as if they are living the five-star lifestyle. That's why they are on here and can't afford having a real opinion. And so I wonder, who is jealous of whom? I really don't know. And I like the vlog, the short you did about, yes, I admit, I'm Andy Omar. Here's Andy Omar. Yes, I admit. I'm jealous because I live in my own house. I'm jealous because I have my own scooter, house, car, whatever. I'm jealous because I am still young and I have money and I travel around. I don't need to sugarcoat everything. I'm entitled and I have the options to have a real opinion. I can afford to have a real opinion. That's why I'm so jealous. What the fuck? What jealousy? Tell me, are you going to go on the Jeff Lee Brown live stream? And you also said you are going to lay off of Scotty for a while. Why is that? Can you?
I can't publicly say it. I think I messaged you on that one, but I'm not. Doesn't mean well, here I can say it. I mean, I'm not gonna lay off here, but in my channel. Um, that's all I can say. It's like a legal standpoint, like they
I
advise
understand.
me to not, in my channel. Yeah, but I can talk about them here. I don't care.
Let
He's
me
a
just add to that. Let me just add to that so the audience knows what's going on. I have seen that several vloggers, but not only vloggers, YouTubers, but also authorities are working on this. They are reporting it. They are putting together more evidence. And I think that's one of the reasons why Andy doesn't want to really get involved into the details, because he has mentioned that in the private conversation. I don't want to throw you under the bus here. Let's get back to the jealousy thing. What else do they say about you when you expose these people? I mean, the jealousy thing is a well-known strategy to deflect from the real issues. How does Scotty and his supporters defend their behavior and the content Scotty is putting out there? Sometimes they say it's jealousy. Sometimes they say leave Scotty alone because he's a good narrator, as if being a good narrator excuses the fact that he is promoting these kind of encounters. And the third thing is Andy Omar is just a troll. He is a piece of shit. He ran away from Tim K. It even rhymes. Andy Omar is a piece of shit. He ran away from Tim K. What's up with that fucking shit? I hear that all the time. I
Yeah,
scroll through.
that's all they have. Like, okay, he ran away from Tim K or something. Like, you see me running or something. Like, I'm fucking running for the hills and shit.
We just fucking walked away from the fucking embassy compound as if
Yeah,
getting
exactly.
involved in a fucking fight in front of the fucking embassy is going to be a very bad idea. I mean, everybody should have just walked away from something like that, unless you want to end up like Bama, unless you want to end up like Ricky, unless you want to end up like like that fucking Mark Thornton guy. Speaking of Mark Thornton, can you give us a short update on that case? You mentioned that he's going to get served real soon.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the thing. Philippine Antics said that he got served. I haven't seen anything yet, so I'm still waiting for an actual paper or something that says he got served. Supposedly, Philippine Antics, they leaked that they got some MBI papers or something. I'm like, damn, MBI, that's crazy.
That's a real
So
shame.
I don't know, but I'm just kept in the blank because ever since I've been focusing on Scotty, like I kind of swayed away from it.
Because there are really no real updates right now, right? I mean,
Yeah, they're just gonna be waiting. It's gonna be
if
a
news if
while. It's
news
pretty
if
slow.
news breaks out that he has been arrested, no, that's going to be one big major fucking headline in the Philippines genre. But I think, and you can tell me what you think about it, but I believe he is going to fight back legally, of course, and it's going to drag out for fucking years to come. I mean, he is going to do his affidavits, and he is going to get a lawyer, and he might update the community every now and then about whatever. And I think it's going to take a very, very long time. I mean, the justice system in the Philippines is notoriously slow, and I believe that Thornton might have the money to fight back. Um, what do you think about that? And another case just came up. Somebody just, you might have heard it. Somebody just sent me a message. World Zoo is another guy, Paul Caldwell or something like that. What's going on in the Philippines YouTube community? I mean, people are getting arrested, kicked out. People are losing their mind, beating the shit out of each other. It's fantastic. Drama is reaching its peak. I mean, before it was all about shit talking. Now people beat the shit out of each other in restaurants, from Dumaguete to Angeles City down to Negros and all over the country. So, I mean, Tim K got served. They dismissed the case, unfortunately. And what's happening? I mean, you also came out. I think we talked about this, the state of the community, Angeles City, what's happening. You mentioned or told me about this American guy from California, American Jew, rich guy. He got involved in a fight with bar owners, security guards, and the tourist police. Is there any update on that?
He's still around, and I think he lingers around here. And no, I guess he's still going. They're resetting the case. Like, he's basically going after them, but they're just resetting it, and they're doing it on purpose. I'm sure they're doing it on purpose.
AJ also mentioned, and I read out loud the comment here in the comments in the chat. He said that the Philippines government agencies made a live press conference on Facebook earlier today, and I think he is referring to the same conference you mentioned earlier. Andy, I'm going to check it out later. I think this is very interesting news. Mark Thornton. I'm not familiar with his content. I'm a little bit disappointed about this guy because I mentioned earlier, I felt he's a decent guy. He has a good channel interviewing expats in the Dumaguete region.
Oh, I've known for years he was a piece of shit.
Tell me why. Why do you think he's a piece of shit? Because I'm really not familiar with his content. I always felt like he's a decent guy up until I saw how he reacted in that restaurant. I think it's Ground Zero. Tell me about it. I mean, I just heard that he was this guy who was promoting or talking about starting a cruise line in the Philippines. I mean, on one side, he was talking about how broke he was and he barely survived, was in huge trouble financially and otherwise. And then a few weeks later, he starts to talk about starting a cruise line because I think he worked in that industry. That's the first time I heard of him. The second time was when he had to do a rebuttal because he had that Paul Caldwell or whatever his name is on his show, and Caldwell basically lied to him, and so Mark Thornton felt like he needed to set the record straight, came online, did a live stream, and tried to set the record straight. And
he was just saving his own ass.
Yeah. But tell me a little bit more about that guy. I just want to know more about him. Why did you feel like he is an a-hole from the get-go?
Well, like, he likes to threaten people. Like, a lot of people send me messages. Like, I was talking to Mark, and then he started threatening me with physical violence. I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. I'll kill you. Shit like that. Like, he basically says that, and then he blocks them. Then he worked for a cruise line.
Let me ask you, what for? Why does he want to kick your ass? Now I remember he came out with the blog where he said Andy Omar He's a
No,
loser.
not
He's a
not me. The
fraud.
other people, like he's so threatening with violence. I'll fucking kill
Okay,
you and all this.
okay. Oh, I remember he did a vlog about you too, but he said Andy Omar is just a troll. He's jealous. He is this guy up in Ankara City with this voice of a teenager, something like that. I remember that. Now that you brought it up, I remember that there was a vlog or a clip out there, and you showed it. I think it was you or somebody else who sent it to me, and he bashed you as well.
Yeah, I was saying, oh, Andy Omar, he likes little boys and all that shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Hey, this fucking asshole. And then he's working at a freaking what do you call it? At a cruise line, right? And the whole cruise line was like a scam. He was the art director in that cruise line. So they were selling a bunch of fake art, I guess, and they got in a whole scandal with that. And apparently his name didn't come up in there, but it was during the time he was working in the cruise line. So he's a freaking scammer from the get go. He's always, every time you mention, where you're from, he's like, I've been there, I've been there. And he's a pretty good liar, man. A pretty good liar, manipulative. He's broke. He doesn't really have any money. Like, he's basically on Social Security. Right now, he's like, he bought a cheap freaking Chinese car. It's on 35%, 35%, what do you call it? Interest rate.
I didn't even know the Chinese make art. No, that's a lie. But
Yeah, yeah. I forgot the name. The Geely, I think Geely or something like that.
Geely, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he bought a
Is he on a
Geely,
pension or
35%.
something like that? Where is he at? In Dumaguete itself, right?
I think Valencia or Dumaguete, something like that.
I have this impression that everybody lives in fucking Valencia and Dumaguete and that area. Why is that? Why is it that, when you look at the Philippines YouTube community, you barely have anybody living up north, like Isabela, Cagayan, those areas. We get Baguio Life. Baguio Life is here in the chat. Shout out to Eric and Baguio Life. You got Baguio Life in Baguio. Yeah, pretty much self-explanatory. And you got the Angeles-based bloggers. You get a couple of guys in Manila, just like Jasper in the Philippines, BGC Boracay. And then you got the Cebu-based guys, which is one of the bigger subgroups of the genre. And then you get all these people in fucking Dumaguete. And Peter Vandever, the legend in this community, the Philippines super troll, the hobo, the Manila hobo, the godfather of travel in Southeast Asia on not on a mini budget, on no budget at all, said Dumaguete is a fucking hellhole. He called it Dramaguete. He came out, I think he was the first who came out with that term, with that name.
Yeah.
Can you?
I just call it Epstein Island.
Have you been there? Have you been in Dumaguete?
Yeah, I've been like around there like 3 times, passing by. One time I was I came flying directly. Then the other 2 times was like when I was around Cebu, like one time I went to Oslo, and then the port to Dumaguete is there. So I'm like, might as well try it out, visit around there, stay a night or two. The second time I went through the other side of Cebu, what do you call that? Molbol. Then I went back to the port, and I went to the Magere, and then going to Shitty Whore, whatever, Secret Door. And then, I've been there 3 times, man. And it's a fucking shithole. The first time when I actually flew there, it was, it's crazy. That's when I met the fucking frog. And I stayed there.
Why do they go there?
I don't know. It sucks. It really
why
sucks.
Do they even rent houses in that area? Because I have never been there. I have seen a couple of vlogs about it, and I just noticed that.
Like
it's not Cebu, it's always Dumaguete. People beat the shit out of each other in Dumaguete, the city of nice people, or the city of smiles. How do they call Dumaguete? There's something like the city of friendly people. I think Ned in the Philippines. What's the bald-headed big guy from Boston? What was his name again? Ned Kelly. The tall guy. He looks a bit like that guy on the on that washing lotion or something like that. You know, the Ajax guy, Mr. Proper or something like that. I don't know. Ned Kelly. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. I think Kelly,
He's
right?
also based in that area. So
I
wait,
have no idea.
what is it? What is it about Dumaguete? Maybe I need to, and maybe I need to visit that place once. Maybe I need to go down there or up there or
Oh,
over
the
there.
city of gentle people.
The city of gentle people. Exactly.
When you
The
get
city
your
of
head
gentle
bashed in at the
people
fucking
beat the
coffee
shit out
place.
of each other. I think it's a university town. Am I correct? I think it's a
Yeah,
university
they got
town,
a Silly Man University there and all that.
Silliman University, which is actually one of the more reputable institutions of higher learning, not only in that area, obviously, but it's a well-known institution all over the Philippines. It's kind of reputable, Silliman University, and Dumaguete, a university town. Based on what I have seen online, landscapes, the area itself, it's not a bad place.
It's
But my
actually, it's
impression,
pretty
of
nice
course,
to go around.
yeah.
Like,
And you know,
it's not
they have
bad
hot
food
springs
and
down
good
there,
vibes.
right?
Mhm.
Isn't it that you have like hot springs down there? Because I think Nico
Yeah, they
was
have.
driving around on his scooter and then he showed us some footage, hot springs and all that stuff. And they said that when you leave Dumaguete, I think it's like on the beach, coastal town, when you leave Dumaguete and go up to the higher places such as Valencia, the temperature difference is quite significant, up to the point that you don't even need aircon up there. Can you believe that?
It's making me want to move there the way you're saying it.
No aircon costs, fantastic. It's a
Yeah.
little bit like in Baguio. The major hotels up in Baguio often do not have aircon because you can just leave your room. I mean your windows open and it just cools down. I usually stay at the Manor when I go to Baguio, or and I'm sure Eric knows this hotel. It's the Elizabeth Hotel on over Drive Road or something like that. It's near the presidential mansion. The Marcoses had a mansion up there, and they have turned it into some sort of hotel or resort. But enough about that. When are you going down to Dumaguete again? Will you report live from Dumaguete for the community when Mark Thornton gets arrested and deported? I mean, that will be a major fucking live stream. Andy Omar reporting live from Dumaguete in front of Mark Thornton's house, taking footage of his arrest. But then again, it's just wishful thinking because, as I said earlier, I think it will take years until they come to a final verdict. And I think he is going to fight it every step of the way because he got nothing left, basically, right? I mean, lots of these guys got nothing left. They have no other options. They need to fight their deportation, basically. Or am I wrong?
Yeah, they really. Yeah, you're right. Pretty much.
I mean, they really have nothing left. I mean, Thornton is like what, like nearly 60 or 60 plus. I mean, isn't it that he barely survived a major health issue last year because he came on and he was on a live stream and he said he had some major health issues. Does anybody know in the chat what he was dealing with? Because his face was all swollen up, and he was like, "Oh, I YouTube saved my life, and I'm happy to be here," and something like that. It was very dramatic. I think it was like a heart ailment or something like that. I'm not here to bash the guy because of that. No, I only want to mention this because I do remember now that I'm thinking about it that I came across some of these thumbnails, and sometimes I just click in, then I click away, and you know that there's just so many fucking bloggers these days. Um, can anybody out there tell me a little bit about that? Because he was really like, oh, this whole fucking face was like swollen. It's like, wow, it's like something has happened. Do you remember that, Andy?
Yeah, I saw it. I saw the picture.
And any idea what happened there? Was he like, was it a septic shock? Did he have a fucking heart attack or something like that? What happened?
You're talking about that fight,
No,
or
about Thornton having some health issues that he was dealing with, and his
oh, I thought you
face
were talking
is
about. Sorry,
sorry.
thought you were talking about that fight because I heard the face swollen and all that stuff.
No, that's the other guy. But you can tell me about that guy as well, because I'm absolutely not familiar who that guy is and why they got into a fight in the first place. Because I have been completely out of the loop as far as the Dumaget the drama show is concerned. But it seems that you know. Can you tell me who is the other guy and what was the fight all about? Why did they get into that fight in the first place?
They've been having an arguments before. I guess it was about the business, and he kept mentioning. At first, it was with Justin and him, Justin and Thornton. So they were just talking about how they were, what do you call it? How they were arguing about it, and then he was defaming his business during live streams, during the videos, and it was pretty crazy. So, uh, and then I guess Justin and Thornton were talking shit about each other in during the ground zero, and then so they kept what do you call it, arguing, and then somehow he mentioned Dexter. It's like, because of Dexter you don't have a business, or because of Dexter this and that, and somehow for some odd reason he always involves him with Dexter, like they're one and the same person. And Dexter got angry, and they were both they came to arguing, and then he told him if he wanted to go outside. And supposedly, according to Dexter, he thought going outside meant talking to each other, right? And then yeah, he tried to open the door for him, and then he started kicking his ass. So
Right away. He hit him on the fucking face right away, right? Dexter opened the door, still
yeah,
holding the door. He was a little bit distracted. Thornton steps out, starts hitting him right away. What do we know about the other guy, Dexter? Tell me a little bit. Where is he from? Is he a veteran? Is he on a pension? Is
no,
he?
he's just a guy on retirement. He worked and was on retirement.
Mhm.
Yeah, not much about him. I actually don't know much about him.
Last questions here for you, Andy. What are you going to do for your next Wednesday show? Because I believe you're always doing Wednesday morning live streams in the Philippines. What's the topic? What are the topics? And when will you come out with part 6 or 7, I believe, when it comes to the Scotty saga?
Well, for now, I'm just talking about these things because they told me to lay low for it, because there actually is stuff happening. So apparently, according to somebody, it says that Scotty has been lawyering up. So hey, why not? Let him lawyer up. What are they gonna say? Like, and now that they just came with this press talking about the kids and all that, like the way they're filming and all that, it's not gonna be pretty good. There's people filing reports and stuff like that. If there's people filing reports and all that, it's because they see the things themselves. They go to his channel and they look at these videos. He's been getting called out for so long. So yeah.
His
For
lawyer.
the live
Who
stream,
told
I
you
think.
that?
Go ahead.
Who told you that he is lawyering up? It's kind of like Rike 2.0 here again. Remember when we did the live streams about this topic and people said Rike is going to get a lawyer. Rike is now in contact with a private investigator. They're looking for you, Andy. They're looking for you, Alo. They're looking for everybody. They are going to file this and that. And now it's happening again. Is
Yeah,
he going to go after you? Is he going to go after
yeah,
the crews? Who is he going after?
yeah. Who is he going after? Because there are multiple people. So I'm not the first one that called him out. There's a lot of people that have been calling him out all the way since 2022. So he has to start from there. Just because I'm the one prominent, ha, that's fine with me. I don't give a fuck. I could just easily lawyer up. Anyway, he needs a defense attorney. He doesn't need to lawyer up. He needs a defense attorney for the shit that's gonna happen to him. That's what's gonna happen. So they're looking at him. They're looking at some things. They're seeing some things are in the works in the background. And hey, let him waste his money and get a retainer fee on a simple attorney just for me, because he's not gonna have the money when it comes to an actual defense attorney for the shit that he's gonna face. So yeah,
His only income is actually YouTube, right? And the donations and the money
they
that
make
people
pretty good
send.
money
He has
actually.
he has no other income, right?
He has pretty good money from YouTube. I think like over 4 grand or something, like a month, something like that. In those
Oh
works,
yeah,
yeah,
wow,
it's
that's
pretty good money.
so he can afford a Filipino lawyer.
Yeah, I think so. But he's getting funded, and of course, he's always traveling, gas, hotels, and there's these expenses. But yeah, I'm sure he can afford one.
That's not good. That's not good for us, Andy. You know why? Because I start to get very nervous about this. I start to get very scared about this. I think I will delete this channel here, at least this live stream here right now, right here, because I don't want to get in trouble, right? Because when they have a lawyer, then they might find out where we are at, and then they will all band together with the other creeps like the frog and the antiques crew and their trolls and everybody else, and they are going to do a GoFundMe, and they will finance the top lawyers and will come after us, and that's not going to be good for us. And I think it's time for us to leave YouTube and stop bashing these people. What do you think about that? I mean, you do you also feel scared? Because I think, to be honest with you, on a more serious note, the lawyer thing is usually the last resort, the last line of defense. They're not going to get a lawyer because they cannot afford a lawyer first.
I think the
Oh,
reason is just to shut you up. Like if they want to
exactly.
go for a case and everything, oh man, yeah,
There's a lawyer. They're listening right now. They're recording
mhm.
everything you say. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know how hard it is to get somebody into trouble legally if you don't name names, if you don't make clear statements, if it's just getting lost in the virtual world of the internet, like non-clear statements. Look, I have been talking about similar issues with the late Michael Fazio, and all the cases against him got dismissed, even though Michael Fazio was making clear references to a certain guy. 14 counts of cyber libel, every single one of them got dismissed.
Yeah, I haven't seen one. The only
Out
one
of
posted.
out
Yeah,
of it, I think I believe I put out a news article once about the stats of cyber libel cases, and I think the rate of conviction was less than 1%. It's like out of 100 cases, you don't even have like 2 or 3 cases where people are found guilty of cyber libel, and it's extremely hard to do. Costs a lot of money. You have to go via the internet. Google fights it every step of the way, and then there's a preliminary investigation, and then it's a very very long process. The other side is given the right to air their side, and then it takes really long. And I believe that it is just one of these tricks to say, look, we can't win. We can't do anything about this. These trolls, these bad people are going to do what they do. Now we need to scare them, talk about lawyers, talk about filing cases. Maybe they are going to shut up. And I think we won't shut up. I know that you won't shut up, Jeff, and the others won't shut up. This thing is going to get bigger and bigger. And the people who actually enable them, make sure that you are not known to us, because just like today, we will find out who you are, about your past, about your criminal past, and we will make sure that the audience out there will know about it? Are you convinced, Andy, that a majority of people in this community will come to the same conclusions once they realize with what kind of people that you guys are dealing with?
Well, it's gonna take a while, just like Rike. Rike said he was gonna lawyer up. I'm sure he had something,
Yeah,
but nothing flourished out of it for sure.
I will. I
Because
will.
most of it, what happened was his own videotapes were used against him. Just like this guy. Like the only reason I put all his freaking stuff out there is because it's out there. His videotapes are out there. So if he's out uploading and trying to shoot on little girls and all that stuff, hey, what is he gonna get a lawyer for? Like, hey, this guy, he's putting me put this 12-year-old on the freaking camera and slowing down on her. Like, how dare he? Is that what is he gonna tell the lawyer? Because if he
Well, I
does
think
if he does a half-ass job, this is already twice. I already had legal things twice, and I did counters twice, and it took years. Look, if they do a half-ass job on this, and I go after Scotty for the counter, hey, they better do a good fucking job first.
it seems to me that you are not really impressed when people say they're going to take legal action against you, or
No,
is it?
they tried it a few times, and the
Do
counter
you have
worked.
any?
I
You
need a
know
new
what?
condo in Rockwell, so might as well.
You know what, Andy? I'm very, very surprised. Maybe you can share your experience about this with me, your thoughts. Um, I'm very surprised that doing a live stream during the day, in your case, even during the morning, Wednesday morning, really seems to find an audience of almost 50 people. I'm very surprised about that. Um, of course, I don't get the numbers you have, but I also saw the last time like 150, almost 200 people listening, and I was very surprised about that because, of course, you have a very big channel, or much much bigger than mine, and I was surprised because it seems that there's a real audience out there, um, even during these hours, because the U.S. guys are actually sleeping, or should be
Yeah, yeah.
sleeping this time,
There's
right?
a
So
lot in the
guys,
Philippines.
the guys right now must be the expat crew in Southeast Asia, or people who are still up somewhere out there in North America. I think the Australians are still with us, and I think the Euro guys might also be in there, but that surprises me. Honestly, that really surprises me because I did not do live streams for a very long time. I usually hop on people's live streams as a guest. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to just fire this thing up here. I forget about how to get in. I forget my fucking passwords into for StreamYard and things like that. And so I feel like, I don't want to do that. But since this fucking Heidi issue came up, I felt like, wow, this is something for the Out of the Winter live stream. I want to put it out there. I want to start some shit, maybe. But
Yeah.
anyway, I would like to say thank you very much for coming on, Andy. Do you have any last thoughts, comments, anything you want to put out there before I'm going through the chat and say thanks for coming out here? Anything you want to put out?
Yeah. I would like to say for you guys out there, please watch the new Malacanang Palace. There's a press briefing that they did a few hours ago. I gave Alo the link. I don't know if he can put the link out there for the guys to watch it later on. If you have a Filipina and you don't know Tagalog, then maybe she can translate it for you. But that brand new thing is pretty revealing evidence that if you use kids for any sort of profit, not even sex, you can get in trouble for it. So even it, like, let's say if you're just filming kids and you're doing a live stream, like I said earlier, and you're getting paid out of it, it's still bad in the Philippines, and it's gonna
Can
be a
you
brand new thing.
Andy, can you make sure that you put the link or you comment with the link after I wrap up this podcast, this live stream here? Because then I will pin it everybody who's listening right now? Is that possible?
Yeah,
Because
I'll try.
I don't know how to post the link. That's why. No,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just put it in the comments after the show. Else, I'm going to put it in the comments. I will pin it. You guys can check it out. This is very interesting. I will make sure that I will check it out as well. And yeah, this is good stuff. This is good news. Yeah. Anything else you want to put out there? Sorry for interrupting.
No, that's it. That's all. Thanks for having
Andy
me.
Omar, thank you very much for coming on the show. Always a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Omar will do a live stream with Jeff Lee Brown on Jeff Lee Brown's channel this coming Sunday. And as you guys know, Jeff Lee Brown usually does super long marathon live streams. It's really crazy. The last one he did was almost like 10 hours long. I don't even know how long this one here is. Let me just check. How long have we been doing this? Like, it's now at the 3 hours 20 minutes mark. And of course, I had help today. Thank God, else I would not be able to do this. Popeye was here, Andy Omar was here, and you guys in the chat. I would say thanks. I would like to say thank you very much for coming out, listening to this. If you can, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'll make sure that I'm going to read it and reply. We have 50 people watching. That's a sign that there's still a lot of guys out there who would like to listen to more live streams such as this one. At least that's how I interpret it. I'll make sure that I will come out with more live streams, maybe weekly. I'm not sure, maybe twice a month. I'm not yet sure about that. Let's see what happens. This coming Monday in the Philippines and Sunday evening in the US, Popeye over on his channel will do some sort of a 1-year anniversary show to celebrate 1 year of Barry being in the detention center. So let's see what happens on that show. And I hope I can get up by 8 a.m. then, because I believe that's 8 a.m. in the Philippines. Popeye mentioned that he will do some intro and say a few words before he actually gets guests on there. And so I think 8:30 a.m. I will try hard to be there. Thank you very much for coming out here to my channel. Let me just go through the chat. Van Turner is in there. Jos Juarez is in there. Thank you very much. Mick Fisher, Van Turner, Mike Dowdy, Abagada, and Sneak all runs from the Philippines. What a name. I actually always remove these comments, but I think it's one of the guys of the other crew. You guys should focus more on getting Barry out of jail, my friends. Now, who else is in here? Life and everybody else. I think I mentioned AJ. Yeah, I think I mentioned you. Thank you very much. I'm going to end the live stream now, play a little bit music, and give you the chance to chat a little bit in here. I think this was a fantastic show. Thanks to my guests. Leave a comment. Thanks. All of the winter out. So the Facebook link is out there. Andy Omar mentioned earlier that the Philippines government did a press conference regarding expats in the Philippines and their content regarding child exploitation, women and children. Please make sure that you click the link, check it out, and of course also the Tampa Bay newspaper article about a female live stream in the Philippines. Check it out, come to your own conclusions. I'm going to end this live stream, and again, thank you very much for coming to my channel. 40 plus, almost 50 people at any given time of this live stream. Thank you. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate that. It's a sign that the Chester is still well loved out there, well liked out there. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Go away, go away. I cannot end the live stream if I don't drop under 30 people. Come on, go away. There you go, we just dropped under 30 people. Thank you and bye-bye.